All right, so it's 6:30. I'm going to call the meeting of Board of Selectmen to order. First item is to, as we always do, is to start off the meeting with Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent. Just want to remind everyone this is being recorded by MCTV. And we'll start off the meeting with the Town Administrator Report. Mr. Maresco.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Week of June 7th, I had a meeting with PMA to prepare for weekly meetings. We meet weekly on the police project, DPW. We set the agenda for those individual meetings. Meeting with Patrick and a person interested in purchasing the Pratt Barn, taking it down and taking it away. Though we did have a very successful meeting, we've had no official bites yet, so we keep working on it. Meeting with the clinic team and Patrick to prepare for the closure of the clinic, effective June 26th, and storage of materials and supplies that we have. Meeting with the sound company for the Boys and Girls Club, at the Boys and Girls Club for the diversity event that we were holding on June 12th. Police Building Committee meeting, and we talked about the topping off ceremony that will take place this Wednesday, the 23rd. We talked about some necessary change orders for the project. Bid document meeting with PMA on DPW project. We're excited, getting ready to go out to bid. We had 12 or 13 GCs and about 96 subcontractors pre-qualify for bid, so that's really good for that project. Participated in a Levitate meeting at the EOC to get ready for their concert August 7th and 8th. Meeting with DPW and PMA on the project to move forward with the subs and the GCs and to prepare the final bid documents, which will go out before the end of June. We had a photo shoot with Local 7 Iron Workers put together by Steve Darcy, and Patrick Delarusso joined us. I had my board meeting and steering committee meeting with Mayflower Municipal Health. Proud to say that the fund balance, after a very challenging year and a half, the Mayflower Health is very healthy at $39.7 million. Weekly meeting with Fred Russell on maintenance of our facilities as we're winding down the fiscal year. Completion at the ATM at the pier, some additional repairs at the firehouse, repairs at the school, and painting, potential painting of the administration building. We had our first DIRT meeting. DIRT's an acronym for Development, Interest, Real Estate, and in the town. We get together, it's building, ZBA, planning, conservation, fire, and police. And we talked about Madeira's going to move forward with the 40B Phase 2 right to the left of their project. I also had a meeting with Tom Whelan. Had an appointment with him to talk about he would like to have the Board of Selectmen appoint a committee regarding putting together an honor roll for the Revolutionary War veterans that served from Marshfield. Pick a location for the honor roll to be, and hoping that the Selectmen will appoint a committee of 7 membership from the Marshfield Historic Society, the Commission, Board of Selectmen, and 3 interested citizens. Also had a meeting with our architect, our on-call architect, to review changes in the second floor of Town Hall and replacement of our bathrooms. We had opening of bids for the repair of fire equipment at the fire stations. Had a meeting with James Maranthas and Greg Guimont on some local issues. And we had our diversity event on the 12th. It was attended by about 150 people, not bad for our first event. The week of June 14th, we had a meeting on Lobster Fest and Harbor Fest, a reoccurring meeting. We had Monday meeting with PMA to plan for police and DPW projects. We had on-site meeting, DPW solar presentation, and had Board of Health meeting with Danielle with the Board of Health as we are moving forward with some changes as we close the clinic. Nurses will come here. We're going to be working with the Board of Health to get them to do shots. We'll, a couple of days a week by appointment right in the room next door. So we're working on that. To have my department head meeting, to go over summer hours, dress code, a number of projects that are coming up, as well as organization of records both here and at the Alamo. We had pre-negotiations with our clerical union. Goal is to settle with our clerical union and our library union probably before the end of the month. Also, we had the LRRP meeting at Haddad's, which was attended. I know a number of people were there. We had about 60 people almost, which was a very successful meeting about planning for business economic development moving forward after COVID. Some things that can happen down in Brant Rock. Had a meeting with Andrew Stewart and Todd Murphy regarding zoning regulations and his neighbor having a number of unregistered cars and trailers and how we can help him deal with that, and the building is handling that. Had a opera fund presentation. You'll hear more about that later when we do the presentation. Patrick and I, we had energy conservation project status meeting, follow-up meeting with Fred on finalizing projects between now and June 30th. And I made some calls. I had a call with Phil Leminos and a number of my counterparts on Pride crosswalks. And we had a meeting, finally we had a meeting on 50% review of the dog park and plans. The costs are slightly higher than anticipated, actually a little more than slightly higher. So we need to work and be creative and come up with some folks. It's a number of folks in the community that step forward and want to make donations. We'll get that all sorted out and see how we can move forward on that project. That's my town administrator's report.
Excellent. We have a couple more minutes before our first appointment. Do you have any questions, Mr. Kilcoyne?
No, not at this time. We're running early, Mike.
Well,
Nice brief meeting.
Mr. Chairman, if you'd like, I can do the clinic update.
That's what I was about to do. I just was giving
Yep.
these guys a chance to ask questions, but go ahead and do the clinic update. And then
Okay, so clinic update as of June 21st, 65,500 total vaccines administered, 61,900 Pfizer, 3,600 J&J, approximately 65,000 fully vaccinated, 2 doses or just 1 J&J. We're operational Friday and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 3 traffic lanes, 300 to 500 vehicles estimated to drive through in those 2 days, 35 personnel working, 7 medical aids, resulting in non-life-threatening issues. That is totality of all the people who have given shots to. Only 7 had to be transported. 84 medical aids with no transportation, but just the paramedics taking their vitals. And as I mentioned, the clinic will officially shut down at the fairgrounds on June 26th.
excellent. Once again, excellent job. Finishing strong, and obviously there are still people getting the shot, and I encourage everyone who hasn't gotten it to consider it. Mr. Darcy, can you hear me?
No comments or questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Cool. Mr. Kilcoyne?
No comments, questions.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Mr. Maresco. It's about 6:40, so our first appointment is Mr. Bill Finn, and we're going to recognize him for some pro bono work done for the town of Marshfield, and I'm going to turn it over to Selectman Kilcoyne for that.
Thank you very much. So I made some notes because I want to read this into the record exactly how I want it to read. Mr. Finn, would you please stand up, raise your hand so everyone knows who I'm addressing here?
I stand up, I don't have to raise my hand.
No, you don't. There he is. So I noticed, you said, I just want everyone to know who you were, Bill. I did notice in attendance that you have your wife Betty here this evening. You can, no, you can sit up here, yeah. Come on up. Oh, fantastic.
I like it.
You gonna be okay with her?
Mr. Grafton, we had 3 years of remarks from him, so. Anyway, I did notice that your wife Betty's here and supporting you, as well as the Marshfield Conservation Chairperson, Craig Hannafin, and also the Marshfield Conservation Administrator, Bill Grafton. Mr. Finn, the Board of Selectmen would like to express our gratitude for your volunteer public service on behalf of the town. You provided expert guidance, legal comments, and unwavering support in the first revision of the Conservation Commission's regulations in over 20 years, and also provided guidance and development for our new policy and procedure manual, revised policy and procedure manual. During this 3-year effort, you donated hours, actually you donated weeks of personal time, saving Marshfield tens of thousands of dollars in legal and expert development costs. The revisions now reflect Peer Town regulations, current best practices, and they streamline and clarified outdated and confusing language that enables the Commission to serve the citizens more quickly and consistently. There's no doubt in my mind, Mr. Finn, that without your participation and dedication, the revisions would have taken longer, not served the citizens of the towns as well, and cost the town tens of thousands of dollars more. So on behalf of the Marshfield Board of Selectmen, I'm proud and privileged to read this following citation to you. This is from the town of Marshfield, presented by the Board of Selectmen. Mr. Finn, we hereby honor and thank you for the time and effort you donated to the town of Marshfield for the revision of the Conservation Commission regulations. And so I want to personally thank you.
Do I get to take that?
You can take
do.
it. You can take it with you.
I get to take
I don't know if either of my peers
Are you gonna hold it
have
until
any
I'm done?
comments.
No, I think as fitting tribute to Mr. Finn, and you know, volunteer work in this town is critical to our town, and the going above and beyond that you did for the Concom is definitely noted, and I join with my fellow selectman member, Mr. Cocoyne, on thanking you, and you know, we appreciate your hard work, and we wanted to recognize it, so thank you. Mr. Darcy, anything?
Yeah, thank you for volunteering time to help our town. We really appreciate it. We need more people like that in our community, and we certainly appreciate your efforts.
Excellent. So you want to?
Can we present, take a quick pic?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Sure. Come on up.
Mr. Finn. Bring whoever you'd like with you.
Wireless mics.
I gotta take it. I'm the cameraman.
Mike, the cameraman, the handy.
Over here, right? Put you in the middle. There you go.
Just a little closer. Okay. Okay, on the count of 3.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. I'll do one more for safekeeping on the same thing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, perfect.
Mr. Finn would like to make a couple comments, so.
Yes, I do. Hillary Clinton used to use the phrase that it takes a village to accomplish something in public service. And I've taken that analogy and turned it into it takes a van. And in that van, there were 7 people that accomplished this goal of revising and putting forth new rules and regulations for the Conservation Commission. Each one of those people in that van was a driver at certain points. And the van started out with Mike Maresco, who has been supportive of the effort to do that revision to the Conservation Commission regulations throughout the process. He was always there, gave us moral support, and at points in time, more than moral support. And now I just turned to Patrick Delarusso, who also came up with $1,700 for us to codify the draft that we had. And that codification was critical to us being able to accomplish the final version of the document that was adopted. The third person on the van was sitting behind me, and Bill Grafton, the conservation administrator. When I approached Bill 3 years ago to begin this process, he was open and accepting of what we were trying to do from the get-go. And that's relatively unusual. I know conservation agents, and sometimes they get very territorial. Bill did not exhibit any of that behavior, and he was helpful and worked side by side with me throughout the whole process. So I appreciate that, and I hope that we can continue that effort. The next person who this couldn't have been done without is Bob Galvin, our town council. People say, well, Bill Finn, you know, we couldn't have done this without you. That's nonsense. You could have done it without me, but you couldn't have done it without town council. Bob was critical in his review. At certain stages, he gave us insight that we didn't understand, and he just made the whole document clarified to the point where we understand now that it will withstand legal challenge if it happens to come up. We hope it doesn't, but it could. The last two people on the van, one of whom is sitting next to you, Mr. Rowland, was Jim Kilcoyne and Bert O'Donnell, the chairman and vice chairman of the Conservation Commission at the time, and Bert is still the vice chair. Those two gentlemen worked with us during the last year of the development of the document. And they provided practical insight into how this document was going to be employed during the Conservation Commission's hearings. Without that input, I don't think the document would have been as well done as it is now. They showed us and turned that document into something that the Conservation Commission will find very helpful and usable. Without their input, it might not have wound up that way. So all those 7 people, including myself, drove the van at certain times and at critical times. So this award I'll accept on behalf of all 7 of us. Now, you might think you've seen the last of me, but you're mistaken. There's someone in this room that's loading up a new vehicle, and it's the South River Trail Bus. That person is Commissioner Karen, and she'll be speaking to you about her progress on the first or second stop of the bus route. The first stop of the bus route is designed, is in existence, and it's the gem that we have is the Veterans Memorial Park. That's the first stop on this bus route. The bus route is designed to enhance and increase awareness of the fact that the town of Marshfield is one of 11 locations in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts that celebrates a national natural landmark within its borders. We don't take advantage of that designation as we should. The South River Trail Bus is designed to drive home the fact that we need to celebrate that designation and make Marshfield a destination for people and make the Marshfield Business Center a place where people go to shop and stay as opposed to just drive by on their way to the beach. The South River and improvements to the South River that Commissioner Karen will talk about is going to enhance that possibility and make that happen. And we invite all of you to join us on the bus. And we are inviting townspeople to join us on the bus. And we encourage the Board of Selectmen to ask and encourage other commissioners and elected officials to get on the bus and make this thing happen so that we can celebrate that natural resource and enhance the business community at the same time. So with that, I'll shut up. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Finn.
Thank you, Mr. Finn.
Thank you for those words, Mr. Finn. I agree with very much about what you're speaking about, and was a great segue into our 6:50 appointment, Susan Karen. So come on up.
not planned, however.
I thought it was great.
Kept us right on time.
Don't be alarmed by my notes, just so that I am brief and concise. I have flyers here for the Park and Greenway, which I hope to leave you. They'll tell you a little bit about more who we are and what we do.
Certainly.
So, when the Open Space Committee began the South River Park and Greenway project by buying the 2 parcels that the park is now constructed on, we were motivated by the fact that the block where routes 3A and 139 overlap is the front door to our downtown and business shopping district. Several parcels on the riverside of the street were blighted and created a poor first impression of downtown Marshfield. Both the state wetland protection regulations and our local bylaws make improvement of some of these parcels difficult through traditional real estate development. We sought to create a front door that Marshfield could be proud of and help to create an environment where shops and other businesses could thrive, hence the creation of the South River Park and Greenway project. That beautification and the chance to honor our veterans also served as motivation to create the Friends of the South River Park and Greenway. And anybody wants to know more, right here. We worked through collaboration with the veterans and the Department of Public Works to maintain and enhance our park. Our goal is to give the people of Marshfield a park they can be proud of and to help create an attractive, welcoming gateway to our shops downtown. So who are we and what have we done? The Friends include an 8-member advisory board. Some are here tonight: Sue McCallum, Betsy Appleby, Susan and Michael Wolf, and Tom Welch. There are others here that couldn't make it tonight. We are self-funded at this point and provide all the funds for materials, subcontracted labor, and other expenses. We have received donations from the local nonprofit Goodwill Hunters also for some park improvements. We have 17 regular members of the Friends that volunteer on a regular basis as well. We have had student interns from the North and South River Watershed Association for some projects, and the Marshfield High School seniors that have volunteered for the past 3 years on We Are Marshfield Day for a major spring cleanup. Before we had the students, spring cleanup was still going on well into June. I don't know how we managed without them. To date, the Friends have contributed over $21,000 for ongoing maintenance and special projects. Projects that we've done include: we've hired Dana Biagini to restore the Stone Dust walking path, bringing it back to full ADA compliance. In collaboration with Barney Dowd, the veteran that maintains the lower lawns, we redesigned the former meadow, allowing it to return to a more neat-appearing mowed lawn, and installed 4 new planting beds for native pollinator plants and shrubs in order to retain the conservation value of that area close to the river. We've added educational signage to the pollinator garden. We've planted native shrubs and wildflowers adjacent to the north staircase that had been a site of eroding soil on a steep slope. This is an ongoing project. The Friends also perform all of the ongoing maintenance of the flower and shrub beds and some of the trees. Dave McDonald, a board member, and Dave Harrington, a retired arborist, both prune the trees and shrubs, which has made an enormous difference. There were a few trees that were close to dying at the beginning of our tenure, but after a few years of professional care, they look better than ever. I have to point out that Dave Harrington continued to work after recovering from surgery on both shoulders. I think he only missed 1 growing season. Dave McDonald is certified in organic landscaping, monitors the soil conditions, and checks trees for infestations. He does all of the fertilizing at the park. Board members and volunteers maintain all of the flower beds and shrub beds. We keep the soils healthy, replace stressed plants, and keep the beds weeded. This is one of the most labor-intensive tasks at the park and requires a sustained effort on the part of many. The recent droughts have also created the need for hand watering in order to save these plants, and other labor-intensive tasks that we're fortunate to mostly accomplish and save things. There is, however, one other task that I never thought of until a new volunteer. A woman named Mary Halliday is a woman in her 90s, a veteran of the Vietnam War, where she served as a nurse. She arrived with another volunteer, a woman named Patricia Schuchard. Mary arrives with a bottle of cleaner and paper towels and cleans all of the benches and the picnic tables. She does this all summer in 90-degree weather and higher. It's moments like this that make this an especially worthwhile endeavor for me. What are our challenges? Funding, volunteers, publicity, and ensuring ongoing stewardship. If you know anyone that can help, we'd love to have them. We're fun, easy to work with, and I promise that my husband and I will take all the weeds and the debris to the dump. Your car will stay clean. Actually, it will mostly be my husband, but I lied.
If you ever need a pickup, you can just call me. I'll come help you. I have a pretty good pickup.
Oh, good.
And you get it dirty, it doesn't really matter that much.
Well, you know, DPW, when we first started, we left massive piles by the trash barrels, and they were always good about it. We'd give them a call to tell them to come. But I felt bad about that we're gonna do it, let's just do it, because sometimes it sat there for a couple of days, it wasn't on their calendar to do. So we want the park to look good all the time for everybody. We respect all the people that use the park, especially the veterans that come. We want it to look good for Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and there are just so many people, and we think it's respectful for the community to have it always looking as best as it can.
Well, thank you for the update. I have noticed driving down 139 many times, looking to my right as I head out of town and looking to my left as I head back into town. The improvements over there, and I know that doesn't, and I see you there, and I know it's not just some random people cleaning up. It's people who have passion for that project, and it is a labor of love, I know, and it sounds like you run into similar challenges to other groups. Funding's always an issue. Getting volunteers. Do you, if there's a way that we can be more assistance to you as a Board of Selectmen, please reach out. I'm always open to looking at ways we can help, and if that means, getting the word out or simply, just coming out ourselves and helping, I'd love to do that. So I appreciate the update and keep up the great work.
Thank you, I will.
Mr. Darcy, do you have comments?
Hey, sir. What's up, Chris? Thank you so much for all your work. I have no comments or questions. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Yeah, it's a very important project. And I actually just recently visited this past week, and
good.
it's actually beautiful as well. It's really well maintained, and it sends a nice message. And as Mr. Finn spoke about, it's kind of that link right at the beginning of our town between nature and our business zones. So it's a real welcoming, beautiful park.
Right.
I hope more people take the time to visit, and I echo the chairman's thoughts. If we can help in any way,
Thank you.
we're more than willing to.
Great. Thank you very
Thank
much
you
for your time.
Yeah, thank you for the update.
Okay,
And
you're
appreciate all you being here.
Yes. Great, thank you, Susan.
Excellent. Okay, we now have our 7 o'clock appointment. Chief Tavares,
Thank you.
good to see you.
Nice to see you.
So we're going to discuss and possibly vote on appointment 9 permanent intermittent police officers.
Yes.
Okay. Take it away, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for having me before you tonight. Approximately 7 months ago, we started the process of hiring 9 permanent intermittent police officers that will supplement our full-time officers when they're unavailable to work or when they turn down the extra work. We've been real busy, and the help is needed. And this is a unique program that we have. And I'd like to, for those people that might be at home listening or watching, I'd like to be able to explain the process a little bit.
Please do.
And then explain to you the recommendations that we'd like to make to you, the appointing authority.
Yes, please do.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Chief.
So all the candidates for the permanent intermittent Marshfield police officer position took a statewide exam offered by the Civil Service Commission. The town requisitioned civil service for a list of eligible candidates. A list was then developed based on a 2N+1 formula. Essentially, they double the number of people that we'd like to hire, and then they add 1 on to it. So in this case, 9 and 9 is 18, and 1 is 19. So 19 names would come down, along with all ties for the 19th spot. And then the list is, once it's created, it's available at the Marshfield Police Station, where the people are encouraged to come in to sign their name if they are willing to accept employment with us as a permanent intermittent officer. Those that do go on to the next stage. The detective division then calls each candidate and has them fill out an extensive employment application. Once that's completed, each candidate meets with the detectives and is interviewed. At this time, an extensive background investigation is conducted. Included in the background investigation is their criminal history, their involvement with this department and other police departments, their driver's history, their credit history, and employment history. If a candidate successfully makes it through the process, a second round of interviews is conducted with the Marshfield Police command staff. The command staff screening board consists of the captain and 3 lieutenants. All candidates are asked the same questions and are graded on their answers. All candidates were also shown the same short video and given 10 minutes to write a detailed narrative on the video. Each candidate was then rated in a number of areas to include but not limited to experience, oral interview delivery, oral interview content, written narrative, education, observation skills, and computer skills. In addition, the screening board considered the results of a previous background investigation conducted by the Marshfield Police detectives. A recommendation is then made to my office. I then thoroughly review the candidates and make a recommendation to the select board. If a candidate is selected below another candidate that is rated higher, a letter of bypass must be written to justify why. I'm pleased to tell you that there are no bypasses that are going to be part of this process. Anybody that was ranked higher either was unwilling to accept the job, or they chose to withdraw during the process for various reasons, to include employment with, for example, the state police or the MBTA police. The select board is the appointing authority for the police department. The board can offer a candidate a conditional offer of employment. The candidate must then successfully pass a medical exam, a drug test, a timed physical abilities test, a psychological exam, and complete all other town and state requirements. They will be issued booklets containing rules and regulations, policies and procedures, and equipment. They will be required to complete orientation and training. The officers will then supplement the full-time officers when they are unavailable or turn down other work opportunities. The candidates were competing for 9 positions, and I concur with the screening board recommendations and respectfully request that the following 9 candidates be given conditional offers of employment as permanent intermittent police officers. They are the following: Richard Perry, Zachary Coyne, Connor Lemieux, Elias DiTullio, Kevin McDougal, William White, Hunter Weedman, Brian Bowers, and Christopher Spillane. And additionally, in the package of information I gave you guys, there's a brief bio on each of the candidates that I'm recommending. Would you like me to read those to you, or?
I don't think we need that. I mean, unless the other gentlemen need it, I reviewed them, and the candidates definitely have the background and the the pedigree to become police officers. So I think, I feel pretty comfortable with those 9 choices. And I appreciate all the information ahead of time, because it gave me a chance to really look at them and the process as well, which is definitely daunting. I mean, it's not an easy process at all.
Yeah, well, like I said, it took 7 months of vetting these individuals out as proper candidates to be police officers, because not everybody should be a police officer, not everybody can be a police officer. It's a very difficult job, even more so now than ever before. And that first piece in the process of picking the right people to perform those duties, I believe, is the most important. So we take our time, we do it right, and as a result, I'm proud to say we're in year 26 without a union grievance. There's been no ethics complaints, no MCAD complaints, nobody out injured on duty. There's been no abuse of sick time, and I'm real proud of the department that we currently have, and I believe that these individuals will only add to it.
Great. I don't have any other questions about it. Mr. Darcy?
Yeah, Chief, like Chris said, thanks for the info ahead of time. That was very helpful, and I have no questions.
Thank you.
Great. Mr. Kilcoyne?
I think finding the right people for these positions is extremely important. And so in preparation for this discussion, I reviewed the selection process, the eligibility decision-making tree for your recommendations, your command staff screening board process, and in addition, I read your executive bio for each candidate. And as a member of the Board of Selectmen, which is the appointing authority for the Marshfield Police, I'm confident in your recommendation that they will reflect the values of both the police department and of the town of Marshfield. And I'm pleased to provide my support for a conditional offer of employment for all the candidates pending completion of further town and state requirements.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. So I'll make a motion to offer the 9 recommended candidates by Chief Tavares conditional offers of employment as permanent intermittent police officers, subject to the candidate successfully passing a medical exam, a drug test, a timed physical abilities test, psychological exam, orientation, training, and completion of all other town and state requirements. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and duly requires a roll call vote, because we're having a joint technology meeting. So, Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to offer conditional employment to the 9 recommended candidates.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations on those hires.
Thank you.
Chief Tavares, because this is the last meeting before the 4th of July, we wanted to ask you, we wanted to talk about the July 3rd and 4th weekend, 2021 weekend. I know it's going to be 21 weekend. It's going to be a busy weekend in Marshfield, so.
Oh, it's the busiest weekend of the year for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of planning goes in place for July 3rd in particular. July 4th seems to be somewhat quieter than the 3rd. 3rd is the busiest day of the year for us. It has over 100,000 people come to town, and our beaches are busy, our streets are busy, and our restaurants are busy. So we start off by coordinating with the Sheriff's Department, ensuring that we have 4 deputy sheriffs that provide us with 2 transport vans to transport any potential prisoners, and a matron that will be available for at least a 24-hour period. In case there are any females that are arrested, there'll be a female matron available to watch those particular prisoners. In addition to that, we get together with the town of Situate and Duxbury. A lot of traffic goes through Duxbury, so we ask for their coordination and help at the end of the night when people seem to be leaving. The 139 belt is completely gridlock, which some people be aggravated at. However, I can tell you that the slow speed of the vehicles keep the accidents at a minimum and the injuries to a minimum as well. So we coordinate with Duxbury, and part of Green Harbor Beach turns into Duxbury Beach. And Situate, we have the Humrock coming over to the bridge, but then we also have Humrock coming into Wrexham, and we coordinate activities with the Situate police to ensure that our dunes are lit up on both sides with light trailers. 'Cause in the past, there's been young adults in there partying in the dunes and causing a little bit of a problem for us and lighting fires. So, lighting them up, lights and locks are the number 1 deterrent to crime. So we light them up, and in addition to that, we work with the fire department, and we, on the night of July 3rd or 4th, we have ATVs that go up and down the beach before it gets dark. We have walking beats. We sometimes put the bicycles out, and we look for fires, and the fire department will come and assist us with either the backpack water devices that they have, or simple fire extinguishers, or sometimes, if need be, they'll connect a hose. And obviously, we work and coordinate the medical activities through them as well. We also work with the DPW. They allow us they assist us with setting up cones in the center of town, so that as the traffic that's going westbound out of town, everybody seems to leave at the same time every July 3rd, that we turn some of the inbound lanes into outbound lanes, so it gets the traffic out quicker, because as the center here is just one lane going westbound, they're kind of a little bit of a bottleneck there. So the cones are put up, and then the traffic intersections are manned with pretty much our motorcycle unit. The DPW also assists us with the trash pickup, because all the trash barrels around the beach areas are overflowing. And one of the other things that they do is that we watch for days in advance for stockpiling of wood on the beach. That's also against the law, not only bonfires, but stockpiling of wood. So we look for the stockpiles, and if necessary, we'll have them come down with the front end loader, scoop it all up, put it in a dump truck, and haul it out of there. Additionally, this July 3rd is going to be a Saturday night. July 4th is going to be a Sunday night, with Monday a holiday. Weather dependent, I expect that we're going to be extremely busy. People have been cooped up. People are ready to, celebrate some little bit of freedom here, and that's what July 3rd is all about, right? July 4th. So, weather dependent, I'm expecting it to be real busy. The tide is in the evening. That's good and it's bad. It pushes people off the beach, but if people go to light fires, it's closer to the houses. So, we're used to dealing with this. In the 70s, before the bonfires were banned, we used to have, on average, 100, 120 arrests a night. Now we're down to under a dozen. And the last few years have been great with no major problems.
Great. Well, I mean, I think I appreciate the update. I think that's one of the main reasons I wanted you to give us an update, because of the nature of this year, kind of the perfect storm of coming out of COVID, the Saturday and Sunday weekend nights. We thank you guys for, I know it's all hands on deck weekend.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
If I could just add that.
Yes, please.
It's not mandatory, because I haven't had to make it mandatory, but every single police officer volunteers to work that night. I mean, they're getting paid, they're not volunteering, but they
don't have to.
They
Right.
come in, every single one of them. All of them are in uniform, and they all choose to work that night because they know how busy we are.
So I appreciate that, that commitment and that work, and it's a good time to whoever's watching to enjoy the 3rd and the 4th, but please be careful and do things that are legal.
Yes.
Stay away from fires and fireworks.
Yes.
There's a reason why our arrests have gone down since those have stopped in Marshfield.
Right.
So, Mr. Darcy, anything on that?
Yeah, it says a lot about a department that every single officer signs up to work on the 3rd. They certainly have much more leisurely and relaxing on their disposal. It says a lot that the brotherhood and camaraderie, they all have to work together, and they all sign up on their own to work on the 3rd for one of the craziest times of year for our town. So I think it says a lot about the people that we have working for our town. And Phil, I know that you leave no stone unturned when it comes to your safety plan, so I'm very confident we'll be in good hands for one of the busiest weekends of the year for our town.
Thank you.
No doubt. Mr. Kilcoyne.
I think my peers have covered this pretty closely, but so do have fun at the same time.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we enjoy seeing families celebrate, independence. So it's nice.
It's one of the best places I've been to on the 3rd and 4th of July on the planet. So it's
I would agree.
pretty good spot. All right, that's all I have, Chief. Anything else?
No, I just want to thank you for your ongoing support. Thank you for your vote tonight, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, so it's about that time. We're on time. We have a 7:15 appointment. It's our treasurer collector Patrick De La Russo and town administrator Michael Moresco to speak about ARPA funding.
Screen share on.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Mr. Chairman, thank you.
thank you.
Chairman,
Thank you,
Selectmen?
Mr. Town Administrator, Mr.
Pleasure to
Treasurer
see you
Collector.
both.
Yes, sir. Thank you. As Mark McDonald would say, it's better to be seen than viewed.
It's true. That is very true.
Okay. The American Rescue Plan. So Patrick and I are here today to share with you a vision of our ARPA funding. And what is ARPA? So, ARPA, Congress of the United States of America has passed the American Rescue Plan and Act. President Biden signed it into law on May 10th. The United States Treasury issued formal guidance on ARPA funds and how those funds can be spent. In addition to approximate dollar amount, town, state, and county will be receiving. What can ARPA be spent on? So let's go through the list. Support for public health expenditures by funding COVID-19 mitigation efforts, medical expenses, behavioral health care, and certain public health and safety staff. Address negative economic impacts caused by public health emergencies like COVID, including economic harm to workers, households, small businesses, impacted industries, and the public sector. Replace lost public sector revenue using this funding to provide governmental services to the extent of the reduction in revenue experienced during the pandemic. Provide premium pay for essential workers, offering additional support to those who have borne and will bear the greatest health risk because of their service in critical infrastructure sectors. Invest in water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure, making necessary investments to improve access to clean drinking water, support vital wastewater and stormwater infrastructure, and to expand access to broadband internet. Important note, any suggested items being presented this evening have been reviewed by outside auditors and they take no exception to the recommendations being put forward. Town of Marshfield's monetary allocation. The town will be receiving $2 million, gotta go back one slide, Jay.
Oh, 1 to 2.
$2,717,928 in two separate
There we go. There you go.
cash disbursements. Tranche 1 will be issued on or before 6/30/2021, and Tranche 2 would be issued on or before 6/30/2022. The amounts will be split 50% to 50% disbursements in the amount of $1,358,964, or an amount close to there. The town is considered a non-entitled unit based on population, meaning these funds will be sent to us via the Commonwealth rather than the county or the federal government. Only 38 communities in Massachusetts reach the 50% population threshold to get these funds immediately. We've completed all the necessary paperwork to the DOR for receipt of these funds, and all funds must be either spent or returned no later than 12/31 of 2024. Okay, what is Town of Marshfield's plan? The town is in a unique position to fund projects with ARPA to address many needs and challenges community faces. We have identified many needs and priorities that serve the public, allow certain spending for capital be outside of the general fund, and provide community outreach to disenfranchised portions of the public. The preceding projects being asked to be discussed and voted this evening will allow the town to advance these projects immediately, giving a direct impact to our targeted groups. Please note, all needs and priorities in the preceding slides are not in order of importance, but rather simply numbered from rounds of meetings and discussions with many groups and departments. Identified needs and priorities being recommended. Number 1. Priority number 1 addresses any shortfalls from CARES Act funding or capital funding. Currently stands to be approximately $485,000 for the town. We have been awarded our full amount from Plymouth County CARES funds and still have a deficit of approximately $400,000. Therefore, it's appropriate to cover these costs with ARPA funds rather than raise these charges against Marshfield's taxpayers through the recapitulation process. Also, the DPW broadband extension cost was approximately $85,000. This will help their project cost total. We will keep separate accounting of these funds for transparency and will still follow GAAP principles. Identified needs and priorities being recommended for number 2. Priority number 2, spending item, replace lost revenue, $1,333,168.61. This is our revenue loss based on our guidance from the Treasury. There is a mechanical procedure to get the revenue from a grant or special revenue fund to the general fund. For 2019, we had $9,661,572.66 in actual revenue. We recognize that the federal growth rate we should use to calculate the growth is 4.1%. There is 18 months from 6/30 of 19 to 12/31 of 20, month before the pandemic hit. We take $9,661,572.66, and you see the mathematical formula, and that calculates out to $10,261,808.80. FY20 revenue was $8,928,640.19. We take our projected revenue, $10,261,808.80, subtract the $8,928,640.19, and we arrive at the figure of $1,333,168.61. This amount is subject to change by the U.S. Treasury, the DOR, the state legislature, and the governor's office. Important to note that they can and may reduce our amount based on demographics. This would be out of our control. Identified needs and priorities being recommended in number 3. Priority number 3, We need to pay our unemployment bill. The town has been assessed a dollar value of approximately $130,000 in unemployment cost. These payouts are generated by a DOR formula for folks who lost their jobs after leaving Marshfield. We are required to pay something towards that figure in which they pay the individual. No, we did not lay off anyone. Identified needs and priorities being recommended, number 4. Priority number 4, create an outreach program for behavioral health or provide a direct payment to nonprofits dealing with behavioral health, i.e. Road to Responsibility or other substance abuse programs. We would like to pay a total of $50,000 in 2 installments, $25,000 each of the years. Identify needs and priorities being recommended, number 5. Priority number 5, purchase air purifiers for ventilation improvements. We would like to purchase $26,000 worth of air purifiers for our municipal buildings to combat virus going forward. We would also be provided with a 2-year service contract on these purchases. Identify needs and priorities being recommended, number 6. Priority number 6, delivering assistance checks to families who reside in Marshfield and lost a loved one, tragically to COVID. A survival benefit can be paid. We would like to suggest setting aside $35,000 for this action, as we lost 34 residents to date. Identify needs and priorities being recommended, number 7. Priority number 7, we'd like to provide a direct payment of $25,000 for 2 consecutive years to the Boys and Girls Club for a total of $50,000. Just for full disclosure, Mr. Chairman, I am a member of the Board of Directors of the Boys and Girls Club. Do not derive any financial money from the club, but I wanted to point that out. Identified needs and priorities being recommended in number 8. Priority number 8. We would like to set aside $20,000 in total to continue addressing racial disparities, inequities, disproportionate harm community outreach. This would be set up with $10,000 yearly limit to provide speakers and events to the community on this important issues. Identify needs and priorities being recommended in number 9. Priority number 9, we would like to provide direct funding to our hardest hit nonprofits directly impacted by COVID-19. $35,000 would be issued over 2 years to the following 7 organizations with an amount of $5,000 apiece divided into 2 equal payments of $2,500. Talking Information Center, or TIC, Sowing Seeds, Marshfield Community Christmas. Mr. Chairman, I just need to disclose that I am Vice President of Marshfield Community Christmas. I don't derive any financial profit from the organization. Drug Story Theater, Molly Fitzgerald Memorial Fund. Mr. Chairman, I need to disclose that I'm a member of the board of the Molly Fitzgerald
You
Fund.
need to stop volunteering for everybody. No.
Magical Moon and Magical Moon. So those are the organizations. Identified needs and priorities being recommended in number 10. Priority number 10, purchase of an ambulance, $371,343. As you are aware, we run 4 ambulances constantly during the COVID-19 crisis, causing wear and tear, and the ambulance needs to be replaced. This expenditure was approved by DLS committee in writing. Identified needs and priorities being recommended, number 11. Priority number 11, enhancement of healthcare capacity, including alternate care facilities, traveling medical options. The cost of allocation of this initiative would be $150,000. We would be purchasing a vehicle, medical equipment, staff and personnel costs, and insurance. The town would be working with Beth Israel Deaconess on a mobile integrated health, or MIH program. The preceding slide will provide more details on this new technology and programs. Identifying the needs recommended, continue. Mobile integrated healthcare, MIH, and community EMS are new programs that utilize mobile resources to deliver care and services to patients in an opt-out of hospital environment in coordination with healthcare facilities or other healthcare providers. Community EMS is a collaborative system that addresses illness or injury prevention through high-value public health services in the community. MIH is a system of pre- and post-hospital services that utilizes mobile resources, including EMS personnel, community paramedics, and other providers to deliver a coordinated continuum of care that supports patients' needs in our community. MIH with ED avoidance is an additional component of an approved MIH program that allows for management of 9/11 patients as appropriate in accordance with DPH ED avoidance protocol in alternative settings, including outpatient clinics, psychiatric facilities, and patients' home. And just to further, the fire chief, myself, fire consultant Bill Hawking, treasurer collector, and deputy Mike LaSalva, we had a very successful meeting with Beth Israel Deaconess this afternoon on the potential of moving into mobile integrated health care. What to know? 3 programs have been created to address gaps in illness prevention and healthcare service delivery. Identified needs. Program description, a collaborative system that addresses illness or injury prevention through high-value public health services in the community. MIH, a system of pre- and post-hospital services that utilize mobile resources, including EMS personnel, community paramedics, and other providers to deliver a coordinated continuum of care that supports patient needs in the community. MIH and ED avoidance, an additional component of an approved MIH program that allows for management of 911 patients in alternative settings, including outpatient clinics, psychiatric facilities, and the patient's home. Operations. CEMS programs are operated by a local public health authority in partnership with a primary ambulance service EMS personnel. MIH programs are operated by healthcare entities together with operational partners such as an ambulance service, hospitals, health plans, and insurers, or physician practices and medical homes. MIH with ED avoidance programs are operated by DPH-approved MIH programs and utilize the primary ambulance service and paramedics with advanced training. Services provided. CEMS program applicants may apply to operate one or more evidence-based illness and injury prevention service from the defined list of community EMS services based on the needs of their community. MIH program applicants may propose services that will address, identify service delivery gaps in their community, and MIH with ED avoidance applicants propose services that are in line with the DPH ED avoidance protocol to address identified service delivery gap in the community. Oversight. Designated primary ambulance services affiliated hospitals medical director. Under MIH, medical director designated by MIH program, and MIH and ED avoidance, designated primary ambulance services with affiliated hospital medical director. The Department of Public Health is accepting applications for community EMS, MIH with ED avoidance programs. You can visit the applicant pages for programs type to learn more about the program. Additional resources, mobile integrated healthcare and community EMS programs. You can go to this website and they'll give you tons of information on this new program. Conclusion and questions. Town's finance team is ready to implement items presented in this report. The ARPA funds will allow many great project ideas to advance with the infusion of these federal dollars into our accounts to assist all demographics in our town. With your support this evening, we will be able to start a process of rebuilding the most vulnerable and impacted sectors of our town and move on from this deadly pandemic. Thank you. Questions?
Thank you for a very thorough presentation.
If I could just add
Yes.
one thing. Today we received the first tranche of funding for APA. So the money is in the house.
Cool.
And Mr. Chairman, I want to thank Patrick. Patrick sat in, to get us to this point, Patrick sat in on numerous meetings and seminars offered by federal government and the Commonwealth to get up to speed on what is allowable to be spent on, what the suggestions they have. He spent time reaching out to our financiers on what's appropriate, what they make sure that they're in agreement. We wanted a lot of the focus on this particular money was sort of closing some of the gaps that we had in our town because of our good financial positive position. And the directive of the Board of Selectmen, we didn't have to lay off anyone. We didn't have to furlough anybody. We were able to cover some of those shortfalls in our cash flow. And now this is an opportunity to be able to close those gaps.
So it seems like this entire program, that's the main purpose, right? The gaps that occurred because of the COVID-19 epidemic across our entire country, right? So I think it's great, that we have that opportunity. I think you gentlemen did a very good job of keeping us, above water as much as possible, and I think it's good that we're going to be able to narrow some of those gaps. I just had a couple questions just for my own understanding. So for these, you had I don't have it right in front of me, but you have the 11 priorities. 11,
Yes.
is that right?
11 we got whittled down from the last 9 months of meetings, discussions,
Yeah.
needs from listening to meetings. Michael and I went through minutes from all the select meetings. It was a long process to get here. It was, I would say, I know it was well over 120 hours of my time.
So I guess that was really my question, is the process, because I know you said at the beginning of the presentation that you had met with organizations and did research. I just wanted to, make sure that, because there are specific groups that have been identified, I just wanted to make sure other groups had had the opportunity to, make discussion or apply or what. I just wanted to get a better understanding of how those
There are still, the
groups
best
were
thing
chosen.
about this, Mr. Chairman, honestly, the best thing is that we, inside of that revenue loss number that you see there tonight before you, allows us to have flexibility. Should a group come to Mr. Resco or the board directly, there's a lot of flexibility there. I mean, that's several hundred thousands of dollars, right? Also, there's $30,000 remaining from the options that are presented tonight, based upon the current guidance. So the door isn't closed. I would say on that. The most important thing that we need tonight, and we would respectfully request tonight, would be, some sort of guidance on the board on what we can start on, because we have the money. Very important to us is that we mechanically move that cash before 6/30/21.
Sure.
If there isn't a vote tonight, we cannot mechanically move that cash. We don't have the authority to mechanically move that cash, as we just don't. So that sort of gets us a little bit nervous, because it kind of falls into the closing of the book plan. And I know there's some other stuff. I know that the ambulance was very important to we ran that ambulance the whole time. I know the fire chief's here tonight. He can speak to the wear and tear on it.
I'm well aware of it.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah. So, there are a lot of those things.
Not because I've been in an ambulance, because I was on capital budget committee.
That's right. You do know.
I know all about ambulances.
I mean,
and
that's sort
I
of
learned
what
a lot about ambulances and fire trucks. Let's put it that way.
it's like, Mr. Chairman, I fully understand.
Okay, great. So that was one of my main questions, and I do appreciate you saying that, Mr. Del Russo, that if somebody did come forward that maybe wasn't identified and they truly took a hit during that you guys would listen to them and give them an opportunity to discuss their need with you. I think for the most part, you did an excellent job of identifying the key organizations in town that we know suffered, so I just wanted to put that out there. The other thing you talked about unemployment, Mr. Maresco. So we have to pay $130,000 on unemployment, but it was after they left Marshfield. Were those Marshfield jobs?
This is beautiful.
How is this?
This is
Go ahead.
beautiful.
I'm just trying to understand.
You can't make this up. You really can't.
I don't want to open a can of worms, but
so
I
this
just don't
is-
understand,
yeah,
because I've
it's-
worked in business and I understand
Sure.
unemployment.
So
but-
the best thing about the whole thing with the unemployment is So just because, in the state of Massachusetts, just because the town of Marshfield doesn't lay somebody off, if they ever worked in the town of Marshfield over the last X years, and they get laid off from another employer, we're charged a portion of their unemployment bill. So if the person's making anything over 65,000, effectively, right, we have to write a check for that person, no matter what. We are legally obligated to do so. It's a bill that we can't get if we don't pay the bill. It would be raised through the tax recalculation process. You know what I mean? Typically, unemployment bill in Marshfield is less than $50,000 because we don't lay people off unless if it's from, other situations. That's a fact.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I mean, that must be a Commonwealth-specific thing, right? I mean, Commonwealth.
I don't have that answer because I've never worked for another state before. I do apologize.
Well, I don't want to get in the weeds. I understand.
Yeah.
If that's the way it is that way. I just know that people pay into unemployment.
And the thing, Mr. Chairman, if I may, and I know that you are aware of this because, we shared it with the board last year. We were getting all these erroneous names of our town employees, former town employees. And, I will tell you that IT, Patrick, we followed down and made sure that every one of those were accurate. Spent, I would say hundreds of hours.
Hundreds of hours collectively as a group.
Yeah. Okay.
It was I mean, you guys know.
It seemed unusual.
I mean,
You're saying that some people were mistaken that they were entitled to funds?
yeah, so we were able to whittle that down. We would have owed about over 480,000. They said that there was a number of people that were still working here happily, and they get an unemployment claim. I said, "What's this?" I said, "I just saw this guy this morning." It was remarkable. But it was an interesting thing is that you had people. There was a data breach somewhere, right? That data breach led to the stuff. So, fortunately for us, is that we have Michael and the board support every year out of our unclassified section a $7,000 program, which sometimes when you're trying to cut the number, you said this is a good program to get rid of. Well, that's unemployment insurance that we purchased. That unemployment purchase that we purchased, we pay a company to effectively chase down all this erroneous stuff and get us to what our real number is.
Right.
That's probably the best 7,000 we've spent in a very long time.
Yeah, because I do know,
Yep.
not to cut you off, but I do know
Sure.
that it's a combination, I think, of just an influx of unemployment and PPC money and everything was going on and the systems were just overwhelmed, and I think that's part of the problem
Sure.
as well. Not that people are erroneously claiming, although that could be possible. I do think
I
that
agree with you.
the systems claimed for people that didn't even know they were being claimed for. I think it was strange. I saw that myself. So.
Mr. Chairman, one other final point. So on top of this pool of money, we were just notified today that we're going to get an award. We potentially up to $5.7
5034.
$5,034,500 through the county process. They're going to get money, be very similar to the American CARES Act. And that money can be used similar to what we've designated. But one of the things that I didn't have the opportunity to prepare this in writing, but since we're talking about just to show the broad scope of, areas that we want to help, one of the biggest things that we hear is, economic development down in Grant Rock. One of the biggest impediments down there is the flooding.
Sure.
We need to improve the drainage system. There needs to be new drainage pipes with pumps, et cetera. My recommendation to the board would be that $5 million would go to help. That's an enormous project. We'll have to work with the DPW collaboratively to get plans and specs. I know Rod took a look at it a while ago, but the thing that we heard from the LRRP was, businesses are very concerned about developing down there with the flooding. It seems to take a long
would make
time to get
sense.
the, cars 3 and 4 feet of water down there. So that's good use of those funds, and it doesn't affect the taxpayers, and the taxpayers don't have to pay for that portion. And because we have that money, it's something that we can implement rather quickly.
No, I don't disagree. I mean, Grant Rock has been something that has been on my mind for a while, and I think that it could be fantastic. I mean, it's fantastic as it is, in my opinion. I like going there. but I think it could be even more fantastic for our town and for the people that
It is
visit here.
important to note, like Michael just mentioned, that this process isn't coming from the stage. We'll have to go petition the commissioners, and we just found out about this morning.
Great.
So this is
But it's all good.
a very busy,
out about
very
your money.
busy morning.
Yes.
Yes, very busy morning.
I'd rather find out about $5 million than,
Then
a
we owe it.
a broken
Right.
pipe.
So,
Awesome. Just one more thing I had was air purifiers. You said the municipal buildings. I don't disagree. Especially with we're still not 100% out of COVID. Would that include all of our buildings, or is it specifically any
15 offices.
Yes, and then mention the schools.
It's 15 offices in the schools. Schools receives the best thing about this. So there'd be 15 offices
On our side,
On our
general
side,
government
general
side.
government side that will get it. The school department received purifiers from the state. And the schools also received an additional $2.7 million in their own ESSR money that they have, that we've established grant accounts for, very similar to what we're discussing tonight, which fall under the custody of the school committee under the Education Reform Act we cite all the time. So they have a very large pool of money. This county money, obviously, again, is under the custody of the towns. The schools did receive they're going to be receiving additional ESSR money as well. Again, they're all set with air purifiers in our opinion.
Great. That's all I have. Mr. Darcy.
Yeah, I think this is a good opening to the discussion, and there are certainly some elements I'd be okay with voting on allocating tonight that are urgent, like the ambulance and things of that nature, because I know from experience from the clinic that P4 is in rough shape and has seen better days. So I'd be okay with moving forward on some things, but if we're moving forward on allocating $2.7 million plus, I would like a little bit more time to kind of weigh the options before allocating the totality of it, more time to weigh and consider it.
Okay. Mr. Kilcoyne?
You covered a lot of good questions that I had myself, so good job. On the MIH, was $150,000?
Yes.
Will this be a continuing program after that money expires?
Well, so that's one of the things that we're working on. This is new. This is a new area of medical delivery of services. So we're getting in potentially on the ground level. So in order to get in on the ground level, you need to make some investment. You need to have a vehicle. Basically, what you're doing is, so the hospital that we would be working with potentially is Beth Israel Deaconess. So you go there for, it has to be a complicated surgery. So say you got to have your intestines replaced or dissected and then put back together. Enormous surgery. Well, it's something that's gonna, need a lot of follow-up. So under the protocol, it's like drive-through medicine. You go, you have a knee, they send you home the same day. You have a hip, they send you home the same day. This surgery, maybe one abdominal surgery, maybe a couple of days, and then they send you home. Well, it's very interesting. Hospitals get penalized. If they send you home and then you go back because of an infection, they get penalized. So MIH is a new alternative way to deal with this. So you partner up with a hospital, your paramedics deal with people within your community. They get a list from Beth Israel Deaconess saying, okay, these 7 or 8 people just had surgery. You need to do a follow-up checkup on them, make sure their wounds are okay. They're talking about helping to administer antibiotics through IVs, a number of things. MIH, I actually only heard about it very briefly until Chief Jeff Simpson was interviewed. And in his interview, he talked about this program and the potential of moving into this next step. And, since he's been here, we've talked about it. We've talked to some medical people. The chief has talked to a number of professional people, his colleagues. And then just today, we were able to have a meeting with Beth Israel Deaconess to do this. There's a couple of other cities and towns that are interested in getting into it. They may not have the financial wherewithal, but there's maybe 3 or 4 of our surrounding communities. Now, where is it done? South Shore Hospital does it. The reason that they're into it right now is they're one of the only hospitals that runs their own ambulance. So you sort of you don't necessarily need an ambulance per se, but you need a vehicle. So some of the expenses getting the vehicle, the equipment, the protocols, we're on the infant stages of moving forward in this, but we would be working, as you know, with the senior center. We have the program Are You All Right? Where in the winter, we check on our elderly people that are homebound and can't get out. We do that on 90-degree days and things like that. We'll be able, this MIH system, when it gets fully developed, we'll be doing all of that and more. We're gonna have follow-up meetings, but it's, something that I think it's worth moving in that next direction. And when you want to get involved in something new, you want to get on at the ground level. So you sort of want to be the one driving the bus as opposed to riding on the bus.
No, I appreciate that. So the question was, will this be in a continuing expenditure after this money is used?
It's hard to say. So that's startup money. So that's for the vehicle to be able to have the personnel go out on, and we'll buy some equipment that will cover some initial time that would be reimbursed to the town. We would have to see, how that works. I mean, the biggest thing is we want to get into this, number one, because we want to take care of our residents that have surgery, our residents that need to be checked on. They're homebound, they can't get out, they have issues, bed sores, etc. But, the bottom line is we have to be able to cover our costs. At the end of the day, we've got to make sure that there is a profit derived from this that we share with the hospital after we, back out our expenses and come whole. So it's an ongoing. So I can't answer it 100%.
But there will be additional costs in out years.
And hopefully there's there's revenues. If it's not profitable.
From the hospitals, Jeff.
From the hospitals, and maybe from even the patients. With the COVID,
So there's a share formula with the hospital?
Not yet.
It's in the infant stages of being put together.
In order to get, it's an investment into the future of medicine. That's what I really think is conceptually, right? And it's not costing. Again, this is a grant we received. All this money you're talking about tonight is non-general fund money, non-operational money, right? This is a grant.
No, right? I understand that, but there's still an opportunity cost. If we spend it here, we don't spend it somewhere else.
That's
Correct?
true.
That is true.
That's not.
So we're talking. This is a prioritization conversation. I have not heard about this before. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I just don't like you guys.
Right,
I don't know a lot about it,
No.
and I'm being asked to throw $150,000 at it. And I really, it sounds good. Are we, are we covering the citizens to a big bill down the road? I was hoping I'd hear the answer no, but we don't know yet.
Well, yes, the answer to that is no. So unless we're able to cover our cost, unless we're able to derive some profit, then we would have to pull the plug at some point if we can't achieve those objectives. So number one, you want to provide that new service to be able to help our residents in our own town of Marshfield. So we would provide the service within the
So the fire department provides the service?
The paramedics would be the staff that would be there.
And who provides the ambulance or the vehicle?
Well, we would have to provide. That's what the 150 buys a vehicle.
150,000 is buying that.
Buys a vehicle,
Buys a vehicle.
the medical equipment.
And the chief's team does that. So this is an extra workload for the fire
That
department?
is correct.
So will this require FTEs?
It will require staff that will pay. Part of that 150 will pay, because we're gonna try this out to see how it works.
And then the hospital pays you because they have a cost avoidance?
They have a cost avoidance. They have to figure out what that cost avoidance is, and that's how they
make sure it
derive up the pot. As I mentioned in the beginning, they get penalized, so they send somebody home.
No, I'm familiar with that. I mean, there's when I was in cardiac surgery, there was a long list of, they call them never-ever events, and never-ever events means the hospitals get really dinged. So, and it's substantial. So there may be a fair amount of cash stream there because the hospitals are heavily penalized.
And that's
But
what
just a
we're
question
hoping-
on how sharing they are with us.
Oh, that's going to be negotiated.
That's what we have to negotiate. We had the first of what I think will be a number of meetings as we start to talk about this and it starts to evolve. They don't have answers to the questions. This is
It's kind of an
this is a
infancy.
new.
I get it. And it's hard to know what your cost savings are going to be if you haven't tried it yet. I get they have projections
And
probably.
and please keep in mind too that this is effectively allowing us to create a placeholder for this, right? And to Michael's point, if this doesn't get off the ground, or if this is a no-go, this 150,000 comes back to this board, right, to be
Redistributed to
redistributed.
So if we bought a vehicle, how does it come back?
Well, the vehicle would stay with the FD, but the vehicle would be purchased until the negotiations completed.
So we wouldn't get the money back. It would go to the
If
fire
we
department.
bought, anything we purchased for the fire department would stay in the
Stay with the
custody.
fire department.
Which is fine.
Would stay in the custody of Mr.
I've
Simpson.
seen some of the age of the vehicle, so I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure we can use a vehicle. That's not the point. Okay. As far as Brant Rock, if we get that county money, well, I think we all know the 500-pound gorilla in the room is. That is such a cool place. You got the marsh on one side with Green Harbor. You have the beaches on the other side. You have this really cool little business section that I think a lot of private money would flow into if we could just make sure that they don't think they're going to have to spend, tens of thousands, $100,000 because it floods every so many years. So that would be a fantastic project, and I will turn it back to the chair. I took too much time. Thank you.
No, that's great. It seems like there's a little bit of concern on wholesale approving this entire thing at once.
Yep.
Right? So, trying to figure out what we should go forward with now. What do we need? What do you recommend if?
I would say the ambulance, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so the ambulance for sure.
ARPA.
What about the?
Funds.
Because I believe Selectman Darcy he's asking for a little more time to review. I personally, we didn't get this till today, so I'd like to look at it a little bit longer as well. Although I feel the time here has been very helpful for me to understand how the process happened, how it came about. Mr. Kilcoyne, I would assume you would like a little more time with it?
Yeah,
485.
yes, Mr. Chairman. If I may ask Selectman Darcy, Selectman Darcy, are there ones that you had in your head that we could discuss that you would be comfortable with this evening?
Yeah, the ambulance for sure.
Yeah.
How about number 6, delivering assistance to families who's lost a loved one?
The cheat sheet. CARES Act. Revenue loss.
Yep, I'd be okay with that one.
What about number 1?
Yeah, we'll just go through them maybe quick.
Yeah, number
You wanna
1.
just go through them quick?
Let's just do it real quick. Number 1, the shortfalls for the CARES Act funding, which would be around $485,000.
Yep.
I'm fine with that.
Yep, I'm fine with that one too.
Okay. 2 would be the $1,333,168.61, which is our revenue loss. I mean, the formula is there.
If I can make a suggestion on this one.
Sure.
Is that, again, we're gonna take this in 2 tranches. I think that in the first year, I would recommend that we only allocate $500,000 this year, and the remainder stays in abeyance until the next tranche.
I'd like some time to just get a greater understanding. That's a huge number, and
Yeah, well, I would.
I'm sure we can come to your speed pretty quick if we have a
Sure.
chance to spend
So,
half hour or so together.
Yeah. So,
So that should be.
Unless you two object.
no, that's.
no, I don't object. I think we
only
just,
thing we need this year is a 5. If they don't
I
wanna
mean,
do
why,
it.
I'm just saying we should probably just go through each one of these and
Yep.
decide if we want to move forward now or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Try to get as
That's
many
fine.
done as we can.
Right, so,
Okay.
I mean, I feel comfortable with most of it. I just wanted to have a little more time to look at it. So,
3.
number 1, I'm good with number 2. Are you guys good with number 2?
I'd rather know more about number 2.
Okay, we can hold off on the $1,333,168.61.
Mr. Chairman, I'm
Yes.
good with number 2, or at least doing the first tranche for number 2.
That's fine. If the 2 of you want to do that, I will catch up with Patrick separately, so my
Okay.
questions are answered.
I mean,
I'm
I
sure
just-
he's capable of doing that.
I just feel like it's based on a formula that we had former revenues and, they came in, so.
Okay.
Number 3 would be the 130,000 unemployment. I don't think there's anything we can do about that. Mr. Darcy?
I'm okay with that one, yep.
I have no objection to number 3.
All right. Number 4, which was create an outreach program for behavioral health or provide a direct payment to nonprofits dealing with behavioral health. $50,000 in 2 installments for $25,000 each. I would probably want to know what that process would be to earn that money. What do you say, Mr. Darcy?
Yeah, I'd like to be more specific. Yeah, I'd like to be more specific before we pick, I think.
Okay.
I'm fine with tabling 4.
All right, we'll wait on 4. 5, the air purifiers for ventilation improvement. I mean, it's the 15 buildings in in town. I don't think that's, I have no problem with that. Mr. Darcy?
I'm good with that, yep.
I have no problems with number 5.
Okay. Number 6, delivering the assistant checks. We just said, I think we just said we were good with that, right? The checks for the unfortunate families who lost loved ones. 7, direct payment of $25,000, 2 consecutive years to the Boys and Girls Club for a total of $50,000. I need to recuse myself because I am a member of the board of advisory board or the board at the Boys and Girls Club. So it's up to you guys on that
Can
too.
you read that again for me? I'm trying to find it in here, and I'm trying to
Number
recall.
7 here.
Yeah, I'm trying to find 7.
Number 7.
It's on the screen as well.
Oh, it's on the
Okay,
screen.
cool. All right, thank you.
25,000 for 2 consecutive years. I mean, my assumption would be that's to, the Boys and Girls Club does so much, and again, I'm on the board, but it's public fact, they do so much for our community, and they've done so much for our community during COVID, especially with our youth. So it would be a great way to, and they haven't been able to raise money, so, and as one of the larger charities, I can see why that ask is there, but like, once again, I'm on the board, so it really is up to you two.
Would this be like just like a general block?
So what they would have to do, so these are suggestions, so what they would need to do, and if they would have to submit a letter stating that they lost X amount of dollars. So this would help them recoup all of these organizations. They weren't able to fundraise during COVID, so they would need to send a letter stating.
It's their gap.
It's their
We got this
gap.
money for our gap, this
Correct.
is their money for
Yeah,
their
to
gap,
help out.
but they have to justify the spending, and it's limited to 25.
Correct.
Based on this current
It's,
current allocation process, we make.
So, Darcy, I don't have an issue with helping the Boys and Girls Club if the priorities are clearly demonstrated with the gap.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not opposed to it, I just want more time to weigh it.
Okay.
I'm trying to comb through some more charities, so I'm not opposed to it, I just want a little bit more time.
All right, we'll put that on the wait.
Yep.
Number 8, we'd like to set aside $20,000 total to continue addressing racial disparities and inequities, disproportionate harm, community outreach. This would set up with the 10,000 yearly limit. So we'd go towards some of our efforts to for inclusion, and I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I think it inevitably it would set it aside. I mean, they would have to come. I would assume they have to come forward and apply for it.
That's correct.
And it would go towards that.
And if I made this is also, we've already incurred some cost on this right now. If should there not be a vote tonight, I will move that money out of ARPA. So I just want to let the board, there won't be there's no direct need for it. It's not a lot of money, but the speakers that we had, the diversity event, those type of things, it was our intention to charge those against this sort of fund because that was the spirit of those activities. But that's, again, can't be moved.
So are you saying most of the funds have already been spent?
Well,
A very small number.
as opposed to using town funds,
Yeah.
if this was approved, then we would take the money
No,
from
I get
here.
that. I just didn't think,
No.
our diversity event cost $20,000.
No,
It did.
no,
It was
not
like
even.
it was like
Okay.
a $975.
Very small
Yeah.
number.
Yeah,
But the idea
it
is
does.
is that would happen effectively would be like a purchase order set up
Yeah.
every year, and we draw down on that amount of money. So if Ms. Maresco was to ever ask, or the selectmen, everyone, Ms. Maresco ever wanted to look up how much we spent for this amount of money, this would be a drawdown. Oh, we spent this amount of money this year on these events. These are the events that we did that equated to this amount.
So if we don't allocate this, then you'll take this out of the town money? And we can't, like, Selectman Darcy asked for the last time, maybe some more clarification on,
If they would like to be more.
usage. It would go away, Patrick, and then.
What? No. The money wouldn't go away. The money's just tabled. What
Allocation.
the allocation, right, would be $20,000. So effectively, think of it as a project, right?
Right.
So you have a $20,000 project.
I was only
over 2
confused when you
years.
said if you don't vote for it tonight,
No,
you're
no,
gonna.
I'm just saying that we've charged a couple things to ARPA thus far, right? Already that, because of the need to pay the individuals and the need of the closing out of the books.
Okay.
Right.
Because the books close on June
In 9
30th,
days.
so the next time the
That-
board
that
meets is
clarifies-
July
that clarifies-
12th, so.
It's just a timing. it's a
Yeah,
timing.
it's just all it is
Yeah.
timing. Yeah.
And just so people
Chairman?
know, it was like $3,000.
Yeah,
Because
it
for the
wasn't- it
speaker, the
wasn't
sound
huge.
system, yeah.
It was a great event for the amount of money we spent.
Yeah. I'm good with that money being allocated, especially with the time crunch we have. Mr. Darcy?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to, it's up to you guys, I'd like to table this one. I'd like to be a little bit more maybe action-driven with some of the money in here, and I think there are so many great people who live in our town and our surrounding community who would be willing to speak for free at our events for their life experience.
enough.
That I don't really think we need to set money aside for speakers and more so let's make it more action-driven, but that's just how I feel about it. So I would like to table that one, but it's up to you guys.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question here?
Sure.
Yeah, Patrick, Mr. Chairman, maybe I'd ask it to you. Do you think we could allocate, and Selectman Darcy, could we allocate to pay for the current
$3,000.
expenditures, like $3,000, and then that leaves us with 20 that we can decide on more thoroughly? I don't know how the two of you feel about that.
We'll just have to make a motion. You
I'd
can
like to make a motion that on item number 8, that we pay for the current expenditures out of this 20,000, and then reserve the remainder for further definition, as Selectman Darcy brought up.
Is
I'd
that
like a second.
3,000 enough?
3,000 cover.
I'll second.
Fine.
Okay, motion's been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Okay?
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
2-1 vote.
Okay.
The, that 17K is tabled.
All right,
I'll
so
make note of it on our chart.
17K table. This is going to be a fun motion. Okay. Just gotta
We already did it. You don't have to
try
do it again. We
No,
already
not
did
that one. I'm going to remember.
Oh, the
all.
total one?
Mini town meeting, like we told
No,
Michael, I said
that-
this is
that's
gonna
a
be
whole
town
new-
meeting. So we said today, it's gonna
nine,
make
we're on
it.
nine.
$3,000 has been approved.
Yeah, so there's 20,000 on the allocation chart. That,
For-
I have, we have a
right.
cheat sheet.
All right. And then number 9, hardest hit nonprofits during impact by COVID-19, $35,000 will be issued over 2 years to the following 7 organizations,
I missed one.
5,000 apiece. So,
I have 6 here.
and then, hold on. I'm confused. I see,
I think this will be tabled anyway, so.
I see.
I made a, I had the
One's
6 that
missing,
I
it got
dropped.
dropped off,
One
yeah.
got dropped in the slide, so.
Let's just table it until,
Okay.
let's table that. I don't have a problem.
I'm sorry.
I think, I mean, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, that these are all amazing nonprofits that do amazing work, but just want to make sure it's all proper before we vote on it, that's all. And then
That's no
make sure
problem.
there's nobody else.
And that gives us time, because now, you know, what we'll do is we'll ask everyone to send a letter stating what their
What their
losses.
needs are.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
their needs are.
Perfect. You guys good with that?
I am.
You're good with that, Mr. Darcy?
Yes.
Okay. Number 10, purchase of the ambulance. I think we already said we were all good with that. Anyone have an issue?
No.
All right, 11, that enhancement of healthcare capacity, including alternative care facilities, travel, medical options. I mean,
It's a tough one, right?
I'd love to do that. I understand the concept of it. I don't have a problem with it. Do you? What about you, Mr. Darcy?
I'm good with it. This is another thing that's going to keep the fire department relevant, another evolution for our fire department, and they're going to be more plugged in and more connected with our community than these distant hospitals would be. And this is something that came up during the interview and the selection process for our fire chiefs. It's something that Chief Simpson brought up during his interview, so he has a good vision for how to implement and execute this. So it's just another way to keep our fire department relevant, so I would support this for sure.
Chief Simpson, do you agree?
I do.
Okay. Mr. Kilcoyne?
I have some reservations I spoke up before, but I think this is probably a very worthy cause, and I'm sure I can get my questions answered from Patrick, so it would not stop me from supporting it at this time.
Okay, we're going to leave it. Then. I mean, I think Mr. Darcy and I both, and you're not against it.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, and then I think that's it,
Talk
right?
to Patrick.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let me figure out how to do this. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I might say, it might be easier just to do each one
One
and
at
do
a
a
time.
separate roll call.
That's a good
vote,
idea.
If I could suggest that.
No, that is a good idea, because then we will I can easily roll through it. So, all right, so I'm going to make a motion to accept recommendation number 1, the $485,000 to offset our CARES Act funding shortfall. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept recommendation number 1.
Okay, number 2, I'm gonna make a motion to accept spending item, replace lost revenue, $1,333,168.61 from our losses during COVID. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, a motion's been duly made and seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept recommendation number 2.
Okay, number 3. I want to make a motion to accept our payment of our unemployment bill of $130,000 that has been incurred during the COVID pandemic. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have, motion's been made and seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept recommendation number 3.
All right, I'm going to make a motion to table recommendation number 4 to create an outreach program for behavioral health or provide direct payment for nonprofits dealing with behavioral health, i.e. road to responsibility, other substance abuse programs. We'd like to pay a total of $50,000 on 2 installments of $25,000. I'm going to table this for pending more information on how that would be distributed.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to do that in a motion? We'll do a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to second.
Motion been made and duly second.
Yes.
Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to table recommendation number 4.
Okay. Number 5, I'll make a motion to accept recommendation number 5 to purchase air purifiers for ventilation improvement for our municipal buildings for $26,000.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept recommendation number 5.
All right. Number 6, recommendation number 6, I'm going to make a motion to to deliver assistance checks to families who reside in Marshfield and have lost a loved one to the COVID-19 epidemic. It's a survivor benefit, and it would be $35,000 divided among the 34 families that lost their loved one. Have a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept recommendation number 6.
Okay, number 7, I'm going to make a motion to table number 7, which is the provide a direct payment of $25,000 for 2 consecutive years to the Boys and Girls Club for a total of $50,000. I'm going to recuse myself, so gentlemen, I guess they need to make the motion.
They need to make the motion, yes.
Will you make that motion, please? Or Mr. Darcy?
Sure.
Thank
I'll
you.
make a motion to table item number 7, which is allocating $50,000 in the form of 2 installments. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, a motion made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
2 votes to table and 1 abstention.
Number 8, prior to number 8, we would like to set aside $20,000 in total to continue. So we've already voted on 3,000 of number 8. So this would be I'll make a motion to table $17,000 in funding to continue addressing racial disparities, inequities, disproportionate harm, community outreach, which would end up being, what's 17 times 2? It's $8,500 per year for 2 years. But I will table that for more information.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to table the remaining $17,000, which is $8,500 per year.
Okay. Number 9, recommendation number 9, I'm going to make a motion to table a recommendation to provide direct funding to the hardest hit nonprofits for $35,000. These would be that would be issued over 2 years to the 7 organizations, pending more information and potentially just finalizing those organizations in town. So that's my motion. Mr. Darcy?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to table recommendation number 9 until we have additional information.
Okay, recommendation number 10, I'm going to make a motion that we authorize the purchase of an ambulance for $371,343 due to, high traffic on our current fleet. That's my motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call has been made and duly second. Motion's been made and duly second. A roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the purchase of an ambulance, recommendation number 10.
Okay, and then recommendation number 11, I'm going to make a motion to authorize the spending of $150,000 for a new initiative to build enhancement of healthcare capacity, including alternative care facilities, traveling medical options. This includes the purchase of a vehicle, medical equipment, staffing and personnel cost, and insurance for this program. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote, recommendation number 11.
All right.
Thank you.
We got there. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
We'll get some.
Yeah, we'll look forward to you coming back with the additional
Yes, of
recommendations.
Of course.
All right.
guys. Thank you.
Okay, let's get on with some action items here. So our first action item is discuss and vote on change of meeting time for the Board of Selectmen. I believe we've had a recommendation from Selectman Kilcoyne to move the meeting from typical 7 p.m. time to either 6 or 6:30, mainly because we're all, at this time, we're a fairly local board, and I think it will get us out of here a little earlier. Is there any discussion? Mr. Darcy?
Yeah, I think just in terms of flexibility, just have it say somewhere between 6 and 7 for a start time, just so we're flexible, but I think it's a good idea.
Okay, I'm good with that. Mr. Kilcoyne?
So in the policy and procedure manual, this is where this is going to be inserted because it's in the current policy and procedure manual. We're going to be making a revision to the policy and procedure manual to select a time.
Okay.
And that time is noted in the policy and procedure manual that can change at any reason if necessary. So it would have the flexibility in it, Selectman Darcy, so that we could actually just publish a standard time, but if we have exceptions, then we could just move it to whatever time we want or day. So
Okay.
I'd like to. I was initially thinking 6:30, but I mean, I could easily do 6.
I mean,
if
6:30 is good for me, because
and I'm
sometimes I
fine
get
with
stuck.
6:30.
So I would say, I'm going to make a motion that we change our standing meeting time of the Board of Selectmen on a bi-weekly basis from 7 p.m. to 6:30 with the flexibility to change that time with proper notice.
Yeah.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to change the Board of Selectmen time and the policy and procedures to 6:30.
Awesome. Next action item, discussion and after-the-fact vote on letter regarding municipal precincting. I know we sent out the letter
Yep.
to our state officials, and I guess this is just a vote after the fact, recommending that we do that. So I'll make a motion to approve the after-fact letter that we sent from the Board of Selectmen to Senator Patrick O'Connor and CC to Representative Patrick Kearney, opposing H3 863, an act relative to precincting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Great.
Unanimous vote.
Next action item, discussion and vote on appointment of Animal Control Officer and Animal Inspector Griffin Webb. Mr. Webb has been a great servant to our town, and I'm all about him becoming our Animal Control Officer. I have no other questions. Mr. Darcy?
Yeah, Griffin's terrific. He's a go-getter. He's very proactive. He's a perfect fit for the role, so I have no questions.
Mr. Kilcoyne.
I feel exactly the same way, no questions.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the appointment of Griffin Webb as Animal Control Officer and Animal Inspector for the town of Marshfield.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
And Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the appointment of Griffin Webb as Animal Control and Animal Inspector.
Great. And we also have a 3A action item, which is discussion and vote on appointment of part-time animal inspector Courtney Ellis. Ms. Ellis has solid credentials, and I think she'll do a great job working with Griffin and joining our animal control board, animal control office department. So I have no questions. Mr. Darcy.
Yeah, she's a great part of the team. No questions.
Okay. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Agree.
All right, so I'll make a motion to appoint Courtney Ellis, part-time animal inspector. Second.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to appoint Courtney Ellis, part-time animal inspector.
Great. Next item, action item, is discussion and vote on amendment to Class 1 and 2 license for Quirk Cars, Inc. on 955 Plain Street. It's my understanding that they are going to open a new dealership there. Is that correct? They're going to new construction?
And there was a problem with their, the original name. They want to be Quirk Kia South, and they were down as Quirk Cars, Inc.
Right. So that makes total sense to me. I have no questions. Mr. Darcy.
No questions.
Mr. Kilcoyne.
No, I think it's a nicer name. All right, no question.
Well, it was technically Quirk Cars Inc., DBA, the Chrysler dealership.
Yeah.
And then we got a DBA certificate for Quirk Cars, DBA, Quirk Kia, but can't use that name, it's had to be Quirk Kia South. And Kia America is very particular about that, your license matching our contract with them.
That makes that makes
So
sense.
they should match.
Very particular.
They should make.
So that's why we had to sort of do this midstream. Normally we do amendments like this and the annual renewal, we just fix it and we move on, but we just inked the deal with them, so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you hanging in there. I
Yes.
probably would have jumped for you a little earlier. I didn't know it was going to go as long
No
as it
worries
did.
at all. It was very great to get a town update.
Great.
Everything's going on.
So I'm going to make a motion to amend Mr. Quirk's existing Class 1 and Class 2 automobile dealership license for 955 Plain Street from Quirk Cars, Inc. to Quirk Kia South. Do I have a second?
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve Quirk Cars, Inc. to Quirk Kia South.
Excellent.
And I got to formally congratulate Mr. Kilcoyne on winning the election.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've seen you personally since, but not officially.
Yes. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it.
Better to be
Very
seen
nice
than
of you,
viewed, right, Michael?
Thank God.
Once again.
Yes.
Thank you. Next action item, discussion and vote on appointment of Revolutionary War Honor Roll Committee. I think this is, as a history buff, I think this is something very cool for the town of Marshfield. We have many, as everyone knows, this is a town that had existed way before the Revolutionary War, and it'd be really, really great to do some more digging and have the commencement plans in place by July 4, 2026, which would be our 250th anniversary of the Revolutionary War. The proposed committee would be somebody from the Board of Selectmen, Historical Commission, Historical Society representative, a Veterans Group representative, and 3 to 4 interested citizens. What is the intention on how to build this committee, Mr. Marasco?
I would, they hit the major societies. Mr. Whelan wanted to make sure he hit them. And then committees are usually odd numbers, so 7. So there's 4 of, maybe the veterans agent, one of the selectmen, and then 3 citizens.
Excellent. So how would they build? So we just would put it out there for.
We can, what we'll do is we'll put up,
Application.
yes, we'll put an announcement up on the front page of the website, of our town website and Facebook page. It says that the Board of Selectmen on such and such a day approved this committee. They're looking for volunteers, 3 citizens to serve. because, and then we'll send a letter out to the Historic Society, the Historic Commission, the Selectmen will put it on for an agenda item, and the board can decide who they want to be their representative, and the Veterans Group or Veterans Agent, however you want to do it.
Excellent. So, I would assume Mr. Whalen's going to be on that committee, right?
I think he would be, yes.
The chair of the
Yes.
committee, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he could be one of the citizens.
Yeah, so we'll, so I'll make a motion. Oh, any comments, Mr. Darcy?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. Kilcoyne?
My only comment as a historical buff too is that I know we were a Tory town, so I was surprised at the number of
Don't let me get,
militiamen.
don't take me down that road because it's pretty interesting.
It's a very interesting road.
Very interesting.
But not for tonight.
No, it's another day for another story, but we weren't too excited about the revolution at the beginning, so.
Mr. Chairman, what we
Yeah.
could do, the next time we have this discussion, and we talk about the Tories and the Redcoats, we should do it right out in the historic proving grounds, the top
I
green.
think that would be great. I think that would be great. We could talk about
Up
that.
at T-Rock
because
Hill.
It's pretty T-Rock Hill, and
yeah.
let's just say the Duxbury guys were not too keen on us at that time.
Right.
So they were very patriot. So all right,
Sounds great.
great. So I'll make a motion to approve and appoint a 7-member 250th Revolutionary War Honor Roll Committee with the following representation. It would be a member of the Board of Selectmen, Historical Commission representative, Historical Society representative, a Veterans Agent, and 3 interested Marshfield residents. The mission of the committee would be to document the service records of those who served in the war from Marshfield and to review and propose potential locations in town for the placement of their honor roll. The committee will work on design, oversee construction, and secure the necessary town approvals for the honor roll, including approval for the necessary funds for building such honor roll, and the work would be completed hopefully prior to July 4th, 2026. That's my motion.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded, roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
All right.
Unanimous vote to approve the appointment of the 7-member 250 Revolutionary War Honor Roll Committee.
All right, so our next motion, our next action item, is a discussion and vote on painting of crosswalk for Pride Month. As people and townspeople know, if they've followed this meeting, the prior meeting, we had an initial discussion about granting permission for a rainbow crosswalk to be painted somewhere in the town of Marshfield to recognize Pride Month. As everyone knows, and I'm wearing my Pride pin today, June is every year is Pride Month in the United States of America, and frankly across the globe. Many other towns in the Commonwealth and across the United States, and again across the globe, have authorized this gesture of recognition for LGBTQ plus community, and we wanted to talk about reboot the conversation and talk more about the process and how that would come about. And I'd like to open that up first to Mr. Darcy.
Yeah, it seems like given the current structure of our charter that the best way to move forward would be similar to what some other towns have done, which is to authorize a non-profit to move forward and present a proposal to take a crosswalk and paint it in the town of Marshfield. And I know that there's some momentum to create a Marshfield Pride group in our community. We're one of the last remaining towns on the South Shore with a dedicated Pride group, so I think that would be a great first project and initiative for them to pursue. But just kind of given the current structure of our charter and some other complicated elements, it seems like I'm good to go to authorize a non-profit or another group to kind of paint a crosswalk in our town for Pride Month.
Great. Mr. Kilcoyne, do you have a comment?
Yeah, just point of clarification,
Yes.
Mr. Maresco. This Select Board Department of Public Works non-standard crosswalk policy, decorative crosswalk art policy, is, I know we're getting together and putting all our policy and procedures together. Is this a current ratified policy of the town of Marshfield?
No, we don't have a particular policy dedicated to that, so this would be a start in that direction.
Excellent. First, I want to thank you very much, Mr. Maresco, for putting together all the documentation to help us understand what other towns have done. I think we're now starting the next stage, as Selectman Darcy was talking about, to develop a crosswalk policy for crosswalk art. And I think, as Selectman Darcy also spoke about, it's going to probably be, well, will be privately funded. It is fairly expensive. Everything that I saw in the articles I read, and I did a fair amount of study on this, is around $3,600 to $5,000. Private funds will need to be raised. And I don't disagree with Selectman Darcy at all on the fact that that's a good pathway to take. I don't think we need to make a motion to have someone bring something to us in the future. We're always open as soon as it comes to us. I do think that there are some issues that definitely need to be vetted out with the proper policy prior to adopting any motion in the future. There's hundreds of towns in the state of Massachusetts, and the best I could find, there's maybe not much more of a handful that have this policy, and I don't think that's because Massachusetts is not an inclusive or welcoming or diverse community. I think Massachusetts is one of the leaders in that in the country. But there are issues with safety regulations on sidewalks. It doesn't mean there can't be ways around that. But I think we'd be abdicating our oversight responsibility if we didn't at least provide some guidance from a policy perspective. I mean, making sure that it's clear who the funding is secured from, what the specifications are. You have the white transverse, whatever you want to call them. There has to be so many inches between the art and that. So we give the people that want to do these things specifications that they have to follow, so people still know it's a sidewalk, people don't get hurt. There might be length of time criteria. If other groups may want to do things. There may be maintenance requirements. We're not going to make it look like, come in and do a good job, right? And then 2 years later, it may look terrible. They're going to have an obligation either to remove it or refresh it, right?
Right.
We might need to have in there comments of what other departments need to comment or participate. Certainly DPW and certainly police would be closing a road, right? And then, who may sponsor a crosswalk? I think that's something we have to be real sensitive down the road. We offer to one. We have to be very clear on who we may want to have the ability to be able to do crosswalk art in our town. Mm-hmm. So I think we're at that next stage where we can start developing this. What are your thoughts, Mr. Chairman?
Well, I mean, so I've done a lot of thinking and research on this, and I mean, again, I asked Mr. Maresco to reach out to some of his fellow town administrators and managers, and we also have gotten feedback from other members of the Board of Selectmen and even the police chief of Hall, who have recently painted one of these. Yep. I think that you're exactly right. I mean, and Mr. Darcy knows as well that it has to, for it to happen, and for it to happen in a good way, is for it to come from a privately funded organization, a private organization of citizens to come forward with a plan. That's how it happened in Hull. That's how it's happened in Northampton. Although other towns have had involvement or have had recommendation by their mayors or Board of Selectmen and their DPW. I think this is, for the best way for it to happen is to have a group come forward with a proposal. And I think Hall had that. I was able to see a copy of that proposal. And I think it's pretty self-explanatory on, the detail that you're looking for, like who are the sponsors, where are they going to do it, what is it going to look like, how are they going to maintain it, where are they getting the funding, who's going to do the painting. I mean, there are organizations, we've uncovered organizations, business organizations that actually will do this for an organization and charge that, nonprofit. So it's not a bunch of people out there with rollers, right? It's professionally done. And the other thing to look at is, can this be considered a piece of road art versus a formal traffic crosswalk at a, traffic stop or light or something like that. I mean, I would recommend that this not be that it would be more of a piece of art that crosses the road that is considered a crosswalk, but it's not technically an official crosswalk of the town. And I think that's something to look into. So my feeling is, I understand what you're saying about not having a motion, but what I would like to do is make a motion to just approve the endorsement of I guess my motion would be to approve an recommendation. What would we call that, Mr. Maresco? Help me out here.
I would say that you
Welcome an organization
to welcome
come
an
forward.
organization and step forward to design, implement, and raise the necessary funding to prepare this artwork for Pride Month.
Right, and for us to approve and recommend.
Correct.
So,
Based on policies and procedures and questions that need to be answered that the board has raised.
yeah, and ultimately, before I make that motion, it would have to be a plan that that at least 2 members of this board recommend and we can approve, and there would be we would be able to build in checks and balances to make sure that this organization was going to maintain it. History has proven that they do it because they're very passionate about the crosswalk and about Pride, but we would be able to build that. So I'm going to make a motion.
A point of order, just
Yeah.
a clarification question so I understand for my vote. So are we basically making a motion for a sidewalk art, or are we making a motion for a specific group for sidewalk art?
It's not a specific group because we don't know who the group is.
Crosswalk, sorry, not sidewalk.
Yeah, we don't know who the group is yet. I think all we're saying is that we endorse. I'm making a motion that we endorse.
Let's get the motion better.
Trying to get it better. That we.
I know you're doing it off the top of your head.
Well, I'm really not, because I have a motion here, but I've changed it now because we don't have a specific location, we don't have a specific group or funding source. All I'm saying is we are welcoming. I guess we don't really need to do a motion.
No, I don't think you do.
Well, all we need to do is to say publicly, for the record, that we would like to welcome an organization of private citizens to approach the Board of Selectmen with a plan that shows, a full plan of where this crosswalk would exist, when they would be able to have it done, and how it would be funded, and what's their plan to maintain it and take care of it.
Yeah.
And that, without a motion, that's kind of where publicly I'm saying, I think, you guys can disagree with me, but I think that's what we're saying, is we welcome this thing, we welcome it, but we need to see a concrete plan on how it will come to fruition.
Yeah, and I think that's appropriate. Also, I think that the first one is going to be very beneficial to us because it's going to help us be able to address all those questions of how to do it, so we can then give that person, the art if it meets what we want, and that'll also write the policy and procedure, and we can just insert it in our policy and procedure, and then we're done. We can kill 2 birds, 1 stone.
Exactly.
One effort.
If another group wants to approach us for something similar,
We've got
not
it.
necessarily a crosswalk, it doesn't have to be a crosswalk. I mean, we've had organizations ask to, do rock gardens and do other things to to represent their organizations, and we would be open to any of those things as long as they represented the town of Marshfield in its entirety, as is who we serve, and it would be something that would honor the people that they represent as well. So. I think we're good. Are you good with that, Mr. Darcy?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so let's move on. Another action item, discuss and vote on temporary wine and malt license for the Levitate Festival, pop-up festival, which is August 7th and 8th of 2021. It's going to be a smaller festival, but they're going to want to serve wine and malt beverages at this festival.
That's beer, right?
Beer, yeah. I have no questions. Mr. Darcy,
No questions.
questions?
No questions.
What kind are they going to be? No, I'm kidding. All right, so I'll make a motion to approve a temporary wine and malt license for Levitate Festival, August 7th and 8th, 2021, at the Marshfield Fairgrounds, pending approval from the Marshfield Police Department.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve temporary wine and malt license Levitate Festival, August 7th and 8th at the fairgrounds.
All right, next one, discussion and vote on temporary wine and malt license for the Marshfield Fair, which is exciting. It's been a couple years since we've had a fair, and it's gonna happen. So August 20th through the 29th, I have no questions.
Second.
Nope, I didn't make a, do you have any questions?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
I'm very eager.
I know, let's get on with it. I know. I assume no questions, right? All right, I'll make a motion to grant the temporary wine and malt license for the Marshfield Fair.
Second.
Motion been made, and a second. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve temporary wine and malt license, Marshfield Agricultural Horticultural Society for the Marshfield Fair, August 20th to 29th.
All right, discussion and vote on temporary entertainment license for the Marshfield Fair. No questions.
No questions.
Nope. All right, make a motion to approve a temporary one-day entertainment license for Marshfield Agriculture and Horticultural Society for the Marshfield Fair, August 20th through the 29th, pending approval from the Marshfield Police Department, Board of Health, Fire, and the Building Department.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy? Mr.
Aye.
Kilcoyne?
All right.
Unanimous vote to approve temporary one-day entertainment license, Marshfield Agricultural Horticultural Association, Marshfield Fair, 20th to 29th of August, pending approval from the Marshfield Police, Board of Health, Fire, and Building Department.
All right, and as we come out of COVID, we have more entertainment license. Discussion and vote on temporary entertainment license for the Duck Derby, which would be taking place September 26, 2021. I have no questions on that.
No questions.
Love the Duck Derby.
It's
No
fun.
questions.
Motion to approve a temporary one-day entertainment license for Goodwill Hunters for the annual Duck Derby at Wrexham Beach on September 26, 2021, pending approval from the Marshfield Police Department, Board of Health, Fire, and Building Department.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous approval to approve temporary one-day entertainment license, Goodwill Hunters, annual Duck Derby, Wrexham Beach, September 26, 2021, pending approval, Marshfield Police, Board of Health, Fire, and Building Department.
All right, and we have, this is, hold on a second, I'm lost. Okay, all righty. So the next, we have our next item is discussion of vote on commercial parking permits for events at Marshfield Fairgrounds. As everyone knows, we have organizations park as fundraisers, and we also have private citizens as well.
That is correct, homeowners.
Homeowners as well that apply for this as a fundraiser for the events at the fairgrounds, which includes Levitate and the fair. Do I need to read? I need to read each of these, correct?
If you read all the names, and I think you can do them in one motion.
Okay. So I'm going to name the names, and then we'll do it as one motion unless either Mr. Darcy or Mr. Kilcoyne has an issue with any of these names.
No objection.
First name, Tom Healy, 58 Main Street, Marshfield High School Athletic Boosters, Grace Ryder Field, Marshfield Friends of Music, South River School, Deborah Unangst, 48 Main Street, Lynn Ford, 40 Main Street, Chris Reagan, 215 Main Street, Marshfield Agriculture and Horticultural Society, 140 Main Street, Jose Vega, 28 Main Street,
No. Sorry,
Oh, wait.
my mistake. You're right.
yeah, Barbara Lannon, 205 Main Street, Michael Capabianca, 225 Main Street, Brian Doheny, 192 Main Street, Carrie Burns, 65 Main Street, Cherubs Child Development Center, 260 Main Street, Neil Frisbee, 101 Main Street, Reed McDonald, 95 Main Street, Kristen Amaralt, 152 Main Street, Marshfield Inn, 70 Old Plain Street, Robert Patterson, 85 South River Street, Joseph Merrick, 78 Main Street, Adriana Hatton, 102 South River Street, John Kappenrath, 28 New Street, Samantha Dion, 35 Main Street, Ryan McMillan, 17 Old Plain Street, Gordon McTiernan, 61 New Street, Diane Fleming, 14 Old Plain Street, Patrick Laurinastis, 2020 Main Street, Steve Coyne, 37 New Street. I think that's it.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion to approve commercial parking permits for the groups just mentioned or individuals just mentioned for events at the Marshfield Fairgrounds when deemed necessary by the safety officer. These licenses are valid through June 30th, 2022. The license is contingent on receipt of the form, a fee of $1 per car, and approval from the treasurer collector that all taxes and utility bills are paid by each of them. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Unanimous approval to approve the commercial parking permits for the aforementioned groups, good through June 30th, 2022, as long as their taxes and utility bills are paid, and their
Perfect.
fee is paid.
Next item is discussion and vote on annual peddler's license. Anthony Burke, Mom on the Go food truck. Love Mom on the Go. Go eat there. No questions? Mr. Darcy? Mr. Kilcoyne?
No
Okay.
questions?
Motion to approve a peddler's license for Anthony Burke, food truck, Mom on the Go food truck, for events in Marshfield with permission of event organizer and at Stellwagen Brewing, pending approval from the Board of Health. Property taxes and utility bills must be paid if Marshfield resident and background checked by the Marshfield Police Department.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne.
All right.
Unanimous vote to approve the peddler's license for Anthony Burke, food truck, Mom on the Go food truck.
Great. All right, the next item is discussion and vote on useful life of equipment. Once again,
Here we go.
we're going to be voting on some amazing,
If I could just make one thing.
Yeah.
Mr. McGillis, I know that you're listening in. Could you please record the transcript for this for bond counsel so I can transmit that file in the morning, please? Please confirm that you heard that.
guess what you do?
Jay?
You get to read this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, get the clerk one.
It's you. So could you please read this
second.
for us? Oh, hold on.
1 second before you do that. Let me just
Make sure he's there.
Make sure he's there. Yeah. Oh, could you just record the transcript of this piece right now?
Wait for him to
So the items here, these are 3 pieces to the 2.5 million that was approved at the April town meeting. At this point, I'll turn it over to the clerk of the board, if that's okay with you, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
Okay.
Mr. Kilcoyne.
I'll go through with the vote of selectmen regarding useful life of equipment. I, the clerk of the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Marshfield, Massachusetts, certify that a meeting of the Board of Selectmen was held June 21st, 2021, of which all meeting members of the board were duly notified, at which a quorum was present. The following vote was unanimously passed, all of which appears to be the official record of the board in custody. So we have to make this vote before I can certify that it appeared to have passed, right?
Correct.
Voted. So I would
right.
like to make a motion that, is that where I go here? I'd make a motion that we accept that the maximum useful life of the department equipment listed below will be financed with the proceeds of $165,000, borrowing authorized by the vote of the town, passed April 26, 2021, Article 4, and is hereby determined pursuant to General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 7, open parentheses, 1, close parentheses, to be as follows: a 10-wheel dump truck with plow, borrowing about $195, maximum useful life 15 years. As a plow and sander, by the way. 2019 Bombardier, borrowed amount $80,000, maximum useful life 20 years. 21-foot patrol boat, borrowing amount $68,000, maximum life of 10 years. So I'd like to make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept the useful life motion as read.
As previously read, the board was duly notified at which the quorum was present. The following vote was unanimously passed by all, which appears to be official record of the board in my custody. I further certify the agenda for the meeting, a copy of which was attached hereunto, was posted on the bulletin board of the town at least 24 hours before the meeting in compliance with Section -2 of the town charter. I further certify that the votes were taken at a meeting open to the public, that no vote was taken as secret ballot, that a notice stating the place, time, date, and agenda for the meeting which gender included the adoption of the above votes, was filed with the town clerk, and a copy thereof posted, made conspicuously visible to all public at all hours, or on the municipal building at the town office of the office of the town clerk is located, or, if applicable, in accordance with alternative method of notice prescribed or approved by the Attorney General as set forth in 940 CMR 29.03, parentheses 2, parentheses B, at least 48 hours, not including Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays prior to the time of the meeting, and remaining so posted at the time of the meeting, that no deliberation decision in connection with the subject matter of this vote was taken in executive session, all in accordance with general laws, chapter 30A, sections 18 through 25, as amended.
Great. All right.
And I am, just for the record, I am now signing as what I just read.
Okay, great. So the next action item is discussion and vote on establishment of diversity and inclusion gift account. I know in our previous appointment, we voted to to authorize $3,000 of the ARPA funding towards this. So we would still want to set up an account, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if I may, so the gift count, as you know, we had a T-shirt design, proceeds from the T-shirt.
Correct, yeah.
Go into this account, and that's how we'll have additional funds to get speakers, et cetera.
Awesome. Do we have any plans to sell those online?
Yes, we're actually selling them, yeah. We're selling them downstairs, and we can put them up on the,
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
would be great. I think
Yeah,
they're,
a little,
I think they're pretty cool.
I can add it to our online payment platform. People
Yeah.
will they'll be able to see.
Cool.
Put the T-shirts.
Beautiful.
You know, we do have excise commitment to excise bills are going to be coming due the next couple weeks, and then, like anything else, real estate bills are coming due again. So
Yeah,
the bills will be going on July 1st.
yeah,
So
cool. All right, great. I don't have any other questions on that. Mr. Darcy? Any
No
questions?
questions.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
No questions.
All right, so I'll make a motion to establish a diversity and inclusion gift account to allow the town to accept donations, proceeds from items sold, and allow the funds to be spent on diversity and inclusionary town events.
Second.
motion been made duly second, the roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to establish diversity inclusion gift account.
All right, I'm sure this has been a highly anticipated action item. This is going to be the discussion and vote on lifting of mask mandate at the senior center as we come out of COVID and we're able to safely congregate again. We're at a point where the senior center can do that. So I'm excited for them, and I have no other questions. Mr. Darcy?
No questions.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
No questions.
Great, so I'm going to make a motion to allow the Marshfield Senior Center to waive the previously adopted Town of Marshfield face mask mandate, effective immediately.
Second.
Motion been made and duly second, the roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to allow Marshfield Senior Center to waive the previously adopted Town of Marshfield face mandated, effective immediately.
All right, so next item is going to be the discussion and vote on opening and closing a special town meeting warrant. I need to read this, correct?
Yes, please.
Okay. So this is the legal notice for the town of Marshfield, the notice of opening and closing of special town meeting warrant, special town meeting of October 18th, 2021. In accordance with Article 2-4 of the Marshfield Town Charter, notice is hereby given that a warrant for the town of Marshfield's special town meeting of October 18th, 2021 shall open for submission of warrant articles on Monday, August 9th, 2021. Articles should be submitted to the Selectmen's office. The special town meeting warrant will close on Thursday, August 19th, 2021 at 4 p.m. And the special town meeting will be held on Monday, October 18th, 2021 at the Marshfield High School Auditorium or Gymnasium at 7 p.m. Board of Selectmen Chris R. Rowland, Chairman, Stephen R. Darcy, Vice Chair, James J. Kilcoyne, Clerk. So I'm going to make a motion to open the special town meeting warrant for submission of warrant articles on Monday, August 9th, 2021. The special town meeting warrant will close on Thursday, August 19th, 2021 at 4 p.m. Articles should be submitted to the Select Board office. The special town meeting will be held on Monday, October 18th, 2021 at the Marshfield High School Auditorium or Gymnasium at 7 p.m. Do I have a second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to open and close the special town meeting warrant.
Great. Next item is discussion and vote on temporary entertainment license for the Holiday Light Show, which takes place over at the fairgrounds from November 19th to December 31st. This will be the third year, I think, that
Yes.
they've done it. It's been well received, and it's been no problems, no issues. I would assume we just need to make sure, approval from the fire department, but I have no other questions. Mr. Darcy?
No questions.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
No questions.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve a temporary one-day entertainment license for Bold Broadcasting LLC, DBA Bold Media, Holtzville, New York, for the drive-through holiday light show at the Marshfield Fairgrounds, November 19th, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. Hours of operation Monday through Thursday and Sunday 5 till 9, and Friday through Saturday 5 p.m. till 11 p.m., pending approval from the Marshfield Fire Department. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the holiday light show.
Were you waiting all this time for that?
I got a little bit of a history lesson about Marshfield. It was great.
So are you with Bold Media?
I am. I live in Providence. So I'm not
Oh, you do?
Yeah, so I'm close.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. I wish I would have known. I would have jumped you.
you. Guys.
I would have jumped you. So got over
Don't worry
to.
about it.
We're,
Okay.
we're meeting at the first Tuesday next month if you'd like to come back.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
be here every time now. Yeah.
What's your name, sir?
I'm Danny.
Danny.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thanks for waiting, sir.
Thank you guys.
Nice work on the light show too.
Yeah,
Please
they look
tell
great.
those. I remember the first year they came. It was my first year as a
cool.
selectman.
Like I
So.
said, we've got some cool new things this year too. So definitely.
Excellent.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
I didn't know. All right, number 8, you picked the wrong night to do that.
He seemed to be enjoying himself.
I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, it was our audience.
Felt bad. Well, I thought it was good having an audience.
Yeah.
Like everyone's left.
I thought he was a reporter too.
Yeah, I didn't know. I should have asked. I should have asked him. I mean, it's like terrible. You got a history lesson. That's good.
Yes.
All right. So my next discussion and vote on appointments to Waterways Committee. Roger Fosdick, retroactive to July 1st, 2017. Mike Walsh, retroactive to December 15th, 2018. We didn't vote on them back then?
Yeah, so Bob said in order to make sure that anything that they voted on, because they never asked to be reappointed, this
Okay.
will be a stopgap measure that covers everything.
All right, so I have no questions. Mr. Darcy?
No questions.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
The only comment I'd here is it is the responsibility, in my view, of the chairman of each committee, board, or member to make sure that your members stay current so they can cast legal votes.
I agree.
That's my only comment on that. They do represent and are appointed by the selectmen, and so they sort of represent us and their voting policy.
Yeah, 3 to 4 years is a long time to not be.
Forget.
Yeah. But that's okay. People are busy, and we still, again, we appreciate our volunteers. So,
Yes, absolutely.
So, but very good point, Mr.
Make your votes
Kilcoyne.
legal.
Well noted. I'm gonna make a motion to reappoint Roger Fosdick, retroactive to July 1st, 2017, and Mike Walsh, retroactive to December 15th, 2018, to the Waterways Committee.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to appoint the reappointment of Roger Fosdick, retro to July 1st, 2017, and Mike Walsh, retro to December 15, 2018, to the Waterways Committee.
All right, so this is going to be a fun one. I'm going to run through this as fast as possible. If you guys have any issues, just yell out, okay? Because we're going to vote on these one at a time. So this is,
Mr. Chairman, is it possible to vote on them as one block if there are no objections, or do we have to do them one at a time?
I think you could do one block, but you
can?
have to read them, but we can probably do one
all
block.
right, yeah, that'll be great. I was under instruction that we need to do them individually. But if we can do it and it's legal, I'm assuming it's legal. I would hear from Attorney Galvin any minute now if it isn't. All right, so we'll do that. Great suggestion, Mr. Darcy. So we're going to make so discussion and vote on board and committee and reappointments from July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2024. And I'm going to read these names. The ADA committee is Bud Duska. Advisory board, Keith Polanski and Tom Scollins. Agricultural Commission, Lori Gamp Dalen Airport Commission, David Surfadini. Board of Appeals, Larry Keane and Stephen Feeney. Capital Project Building Committee is James Banda and Peg Davis. Community Preservation Commission, Kerry Richardson and Michael Bilas. Conservation Commission, Susan Karen and Bertram O'Donnell. Council on Aging, Sheila Gagnon and Barbara Van Houten. Energy Commission, William Botigi. Historical Commission, Carolyn Shanley. I need to recuse myself on this one, but Marshfield Housing Partnership, Cody Rowland and Fred Monaco, because Cody is my wife.
Can we maybe procedurally just drop that out of
We'll
this?
drop that one out of
We'll
this
do that-
session,
we'll do
and
that
we'll do
separate.
it separately. So let's hold Marshfield Housing Partnership. The MBTA Advisory Board, Greg Guimond. North River Commission, Mary Ann Leonard. Recreation Commission, Gary Pena and Brian Spano. Register of Voters, Lauren Hughes. Waterways Committee, Gregory DeCesar and Stephen Carver. And so I'm going to make a motion to reappoint the previously read names to those committees mentioned, effective July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2024.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a comment for point of order on this one?
Sure.
I just wanted, before we
on,
move
Steve.
forward with the second, it's just the time delay for poor Stephen, is that this was a discussion and vote, and that I don't have any discussion points for any of these, and I feel that I can move forward with a vote. So
Okay.
Just make that official for all of them.
Yeah, great. Steve, did you have any comments? That's a good point. Any comments on any of these?
No.
Okay. So I'll make that motion to reappoint the previously read names and roles, board committee reappointments effective July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2024.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, with the exception of the housing partnership.
Yeah, with the, I took that out,
Yep,
but with the
perfect.
exception of housing partnership. We have a
Motion's-
second.
Yep, motion's been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
A unanimous vote to approve all of the committees and their members as read, with the exception of the Marshfield Housing Partnership.
Selectman Darcy, you needed to bring a light there for you.
But you
You're
didn't know
in
you're gonna be out there all
twilight.
You didn't know it was going to be dark, did you?
Get the lantern.
Well, I'm a big believer in parks and recreation. This is a very on brand for me to do the meeting from.
I like it. I like it. All right, could I have a motion from one of you gentlemen to accept Cody Rowland and Fred Monaco for Marshfield Housing Partnership?
Second.
Okay, I need a motion from one of you.
You make a motion to reappoint Cody Rowland and Fred Monaco to the Marshfield Housing Partnership.
Do we have a second?
I will second that.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Well, I don't get to vote.
Oh,
I
it's fine. That's right. Yeah, yep,
You're abstaining?
yep.
Okay.
Mr. Darcy?
You're gonna keep Chris off the couch tonight, so he's gonna.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Yes. Aye.
2 votes in favor and 1 recusal.
Thank you. All right. All right, I think we're getting there. Motion to accept the minutes for the Board of Selectmen meeting of June 7th, 2021. Do we have all signatures?
2 signatures, yes, we do.
Okay, perfect. So I'll make that motion to accept the minutes for the Board of Selectmen meeting of June 7th, 2021.
Second.
Motion's been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Woo! And so I'm going to make our final motion to adjourn. Have a happy and safe 3rd and 4th of July, and a great holiday weekend, and we'll see you after the 4th.
Yep.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, a motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to adjourn and for a safe July 3rd and 4th holiday week.
I'll do it.
Thank you, guys.
The meeting's adjourned. Officially closed.
Well done, guys.
That was a good one.
Great meeting.